Hello, everyone. It's debate time. I am joined, as always, by the wonderful overlord of the underworld. I don't. I'm coming up with these on the top of my head. It's Mark Reed.
Oh, I'm the
doing an
overlord of the
upside down thing.
underworld.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because really, because
'Cause,
obviously, yeah, that's got to be the bottom. I hate to break it to you,
you're on
but
the
there is
underside
no
of.
bottom
It
and
made
top
sense
in
in my head.
space.
Don't mind me.
No,
I'm
I get you.
messing these up is becoming sort of my running thing. We're also joined by the wonderful, the equitable Leophilius.
The ground of all being, Leophilius.
Yes.
The necessary state of being, Leophilius.
Yep.
I love it. Oh, goodness.
By the way, Mark, if you yell at a 5-year-old kid one more time, I'm just going to stop sustaining your existence. I don't want to see that again. You know what you did at 11:30 this morning. You know what you did.
Yell at a 5-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm. You don't think I saw that? I'm the ground of all being. Of course I saw that. I saw what you did.
Which 5-year-old kid are we talking about here? I don't even remember engaging with a 5-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm. Of course you don't remember. That's what I
was.
Was
it on Dave's channel? Because I saw you on Dave's channel earlier.
No, I'm just giving you shit.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I see all things. So when people are acting up, I know.
I
the one who relays that information to Santa Claus. That's how he knows.
I don't know where I would find a 5-year-old. I don't have any kids in the house, and I'm thinking, did I make a call on Discord that I'm unaware of? Like, what?
I mean, if you need a 5-year-old to yell at, you could just log into Fortnite or something.
Yeah, Roblox or something. Just yell at
something. Listen here, you damn kids. What does the 6-7 thing mean?
Well, it could be like Kent Hovind and ask if any of them are married yet, which is weird and creepy and odd.
Quite so.
Just saying.
Speaking of things.
Just saying.
Actually, I can't even think. Speaking of things, the thing, because it actually is Kent Hovind. That's what we're doing today.
Yep. Yep.
I was going to say, speaking of creepy old men, but wait, it's the same creepy old man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my. Yes, indeed. Today, we're doing part 2 of the debate review between Leo and Kent. It's over. Biblical mythology versus scientific cosmology. It's going well. They did their openings. They did their initial rebuttals. We're at about 45 minutes in. What? First of all, for everybody watching, hello, everyone. Lovely to see you. If you're new here, do take a second to hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot and makes me feel better. So I appreciate it. But also, remember to subscribe to Mark because we take turns every other week. Part 1 is over on Mark's channel, but it's also linked in the description. Next week, we'll be back over at Mark's. And subscribe to Leo because even though he's busy a lot, I know how that works. He does some cool shit, as you will see tonight. What are y'all's thoughts on our situation so far?
Well, I mean,
classic Kent Hovind.
Yeah, he's got his script and he does not deviate from it. It is just his, script. I think that he's actually worse on cosmology or cosmogony than anything else. He doesn't seem to understand the difference between the two. He doesn't seem to understand what Leo is talking to him about, but he's just got his evolution's false, and that includes the evolution of the galaxies and stuff. Him talking about how light works was quite frankly embarrassing. I really think that he doesn't have any idea about sort of, he's talking about they slowed down light and even stopped it, and it's like, yeah, but that doesn't solve your problem. In fact, it makes it worse.
That's right. He was trying to get faster light so the universe can be 6,000 years old. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Fucking amazing. Oh my. All right, so we just finished rebuttals. I'm not sure how long the Q&A is. I probably looked, but I don't remember, and I didn't make a note of that one because the important thing is to note where we left off. Anyhow, possibly halfway. We'll find out. It'll be fun.
No, we were halfway. I'm sorry. I forgot to upload the file for you. I do apologize, Ems. That's my fault. But yeah, it was 1 hour 30 just before the questions on my copy. So 45 was halfway. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're and just about exactly. Whoa, we're halfway. I'll stop. Sometimes the spirit.
You're very musical today. I'm all for it, quite frankly. I do.
Everybody should be a lot more musical. I think the world would be a different place.
I'm trying to make myself feel better.
You can't be too musical because seriously, the copyright strikes. I feel like I'm going to sneeze wrong and I'm going to get a copyright strike for it, quite frankly.
For real. So, I do a weekday morning-ish show. It's 11 a.m. Eastern on weekdays. And I have a bunch of the other girls over from time to time. Jess from How to Rule an Asteroid was over. She got some hate mail, which she decided to turn into poetry. Like
yes.
She read it. It's amazing. And
that's actually, it's not exactly hate mail. It's some creationist, like he did one for me as well. And it was like, oh, you think 2.5K is a lot of followers? And I'm like, well, no, not really. I don't. And he's sort of.
Well, that's kind of subjective. I mean, don't you think it would be a lot of people to stand in front of 2,500 people? I think that's a lot of people to stand in front of and speak in front of. If you were standing in front of 2,500 people and speaking, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, but I don't think it lends any weight to my arguments, or it's any kind of, it's not something that I flex about. Like I don't go, oh, yeah. It's just a number, really. And but the funny thing is that he's sort of just, doing these poems about us. Funny thing was, I asked for a poem back in ChatGPT, and it produced something entirely similar. So I think he's actually using ChatGPT to do it.
That would make sense, because there were some weird things. Because I've heard a couple of the other ones that he's done, and they're
all very similar. Yeah,
they're weird. There's like some irrelevant things, like somebody's, maybe it was even Jess's. It started out with, there was an old woman who lived in a shoe, but this isn't her. And I'm like, well, then why is that line there?
Yeah.
Like,
what do you do when you live in a shoe and you ain't got no soul?
That
you feel like rough. A bit of a heel.
Yeah. You get kicked out.
Know, is it?
I'm just trying to, pull this one up by its bootstraps. Don't get me started. The reason I mention it is because Jess played her short on the morning show, on the live show, and I got a copyright ding for it.
No.
It's just a short. The fuck?
Oh, they don't care. They don't care. It's just they'll let shorts get away with certain things. Yeah.
You are live sharing a video from the person that you were live with on your channel. We're striking that.
Wait, you got a copyright strike from Jess or from whoever owned the music?
It was a copyright ping.
Yeah.
Not a full strike, but just went in her channel and just released the copyright claim, and it was fine. And Jess is like, oh, this is inconvenient. Meanwhile, I keep getting alerts saying, there's another channel using your videos to review things now. And it's like, the most recent thing is when we had Godless Engineer over and simulcast on his channel. I'm like, that was a while ago. And also, never mind. Just never mind, YouTube. I just, fucking hell.
Yeah, I'd never copyrighted someone in my life. I just don't see the point, really, I guess. It just doesn't worry me, I guess.
I mean, well, it depends. I know there's huge companies that make a great deal of money over. You know what? This is a tangent upon tangents. I'll just let that one go. Drop a tangent in the chat and move along. However, speaking of tangents, if you too are just here for the tangents, we can help with that. We have merch now, including a tangent tee. If you're just here for the tangents, there's a shirt, and it includes one of the emojis, which were voted on by the members. I'm just tickled. I'm easily amused, but we do have merch. That's one of the things. I make nothing on that
That's
shirt.
awesome.
It's literally as cheap as I could make it. But I'm amused it's there. All right, let's actually get started here.
And that concludes the first round of uninterrupted rebuttals. We're now going to move into a second uninterrupted rebuttal. This time,
Did we
4
have
minutes.
2 of them?
And
I
we're
don't
going to hand
remember.
it over to you, Leo, whenever you're ready.
What's that now?
I didn't know that we had
Yes.
2 rounds of rebuttals. I forgot. I guess I forgot about that.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah.
I mean, they're only 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know, and I'll start the timer.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. So I did want to say that I specified nobody knows where time.
Kent immediately pulls up a fucking window.
Second law of thermodynamics. Oh,
he just can't. He's like,
Mhm.
I have to protest this travesty of my opponent being able to speak uninterrupted.
He'll do this in debates all the time, and Donnie does this as well. His last debate, a modern day debate, he was constantly pulling stuff up on the screen while other people were talking, which quite frankly is just obnoxious behavior. You know, like it's just
I've got some comments about that debate and some other things associated with it, but we're not gonna talk about those live.
I'm having trouble hearing you, Leo.
Got some comments about what? Sorry.
That debate that was on Modern Day Debate that Donnie did. I've got some comments about that debate and some other auxiliary things, some things related to it, but we're not going to talk about those live.
Okay.
That's fair. That's another topic for another time.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll even cover that debate someday.
Oh my God,
Maybe.
why do you fucking do
We'll see.
this? What the shit?
Space and matter came from.
Okay,
We might all have
dude,
our own beliefs about that, but none of us.
Oh shit!
Oh, hey, you got louder.
I think Leo spilled something.
No, it's not a spill.
Cursed gravity.
It's all going downhill from here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. It's gravity. It will go downhill.
Well, that's like the 60 millionth time those have fucking fallen to the floor. I hope they still work.
You know, I have to apologize, folks. I thought it would be fun to park us in orbit around a black hole for this debate, but now gravity's gone wonky, time has gone crazy. Like, it's just, this was probably
Never ends well. Never ends well.
I should hopefully be a little bit louder. I don't know why, but I go into like my settings on my computer for the input volume from my microphone, and it likes to just set it down to 8 randomly. Just set it down specifically to 8, and then I have to turn it back up to like 20 or something like that. It just, I don't know.
It's God. He can't smite you. He has to, fuck with settings. That's basically.
And then I have a fat cat laying here on my desk, all up in my business. Let's see if we can't. Can we? That thing right there. Can you see this thing? This fat thing? Yeah. Got that laying down there. And as you probably also saw, the keyboard is, I have to move that. I have to move everything. She's just 9 pounds.
As rightfully so. That's their right as a cat.
Hell yeah. And
yeah.
That's what they do. It's their job.
You should be glad that it hasn't knocked the keyboard off onto the floor. That's what you should be.
The speakers have fallen. I couldn't tell you how many fucking times. No, Macy, stop! Stop it! Right as I say that, her paw pushes the speaker. And since the speakers are connected, when one falls, hey, guess what happens? Oh, the other falls too. Oh, it's so cool. Look what I can do.
Oh, good.
But yeah, everything's good now. I hope those speakers still work. I think they do. They're Logitech, so they're like the Nokia of speakers. So hopefully.
Right. I feel that. Actually, all my oldest shit is Logitech.
Why are there 2 of me on the panel?
Because you're
you're
sharing the screen in the
or you're preparing to rebuttal.
You okay, Leo? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I was messing with you guys.
Okay.
Okay. What is happening? I just work here. All right. Continuing on.
Can confirm that. So I mean, he says that, I heard you mention that. Then why do you keep pressing a point that's already been conceded? You then said, well, then you have an incomplete theory. There isn't a single theory, or at least there's very few theories that humans have that are complete. General relativity is incomplete. But if you want to take issue with the accuracy of Einstein's field equations, I invite you to publish your work. That's one of the dumbest statements he said to when I explained that the galaxies aren't actually moving, it's space-time expanding. That's just not a response. I would wonder if he has one here, or if he just plans to merely hand-wave away something that maybe he can't respond to, and that's why he just kind of hand-waves it away. The speed of light is constant for anybody that understands special relativity. What would give us that is the equation C equals the square root of 1 over epsilon naught mu naught, which tells us that the rate at which electromagnetic radiation propagates through the vacuum of space-time is dependent on the structure of space-time and its ability to permit an electromagnetic field through it. This is nothing new.
Yes, that was confirmed in the famous experiment about the luminiferous ether, right?
Michelson-Morley?
Michelson-Morley, yeah.
I'm kidding, because you just kind of like dumped a shit ton of math and physics terms on the audience. Like, everybody's following this, right? I realize you only have 4 minutes, but it still amuses me.
Also, yeah, we have slowed down light to practically not moving at all, but that's because we're changing the medium through which it travels. Again, light only travels at C, specifically in the vacuum of space-time. Kent gave many examples of where we put light through very, very dense mediums that slow it down to practically not moving at all, but none of that means that light does that when it's traveling through the vacuum of space. Hint, it doesn't. We know, we measured. In terms of measuring these extreme distances that Kent measured, we don't really need to use trigonometry, but even if we wanted to, we use supercomputers to calculate those extraordinarily small angles, and you can make them arbitrarily small and they're still calculable. So that doesn't really overturn anything. Also, we tend to use like gravitational lensing measures, standard candles, numerous other methods for measuring these extreme distances, because we're in the 21st century now. We don't need to use the basic trigonometric methods that they were using 90 years ago. Also,
maybe when you say we're in the 21st century, you shouldn't include Kent with that. He's like definitely back in the 18th somewhere. Seriously,
I was going to say 16th, but yeah.
Well, maybe I'm too generous with my estimation, but yeah, he really, like, none of this stuff he's going to understand, and yeah, he's just trying to hand wave away stuff with really silly explanations. Like, none of his explanations cover what you're talking about.
I just think it's cute how Kent pretends like he can keep up. I mean, honestly, I can't keep up with Leo.
I even gave him some credit later in this video, and I do it to sort of like, how do I want to word this? Sort of gain favor with the audience by assuming one of their idols is an intelligent person for the sake of, like, the rhetoric of the discussion. I mentioned
you want to build that
quantum,
bridge. Yeah.
I mentioned something about quantum field theory earlier, and I was like, something about, well, I think this might be in the Q&A, and I was like saying, so, I mean, if you want to know more about it, you could go watch those lectures. I'm sure Kent could understand that material, but I don't know about anybody else, because quantum field theory is pretty mature stuff. I said something like that, like offhandedly giving Kent that credit so that I can gain favor with his psychophants.
Yeah, I don't think it probably would have gotten any favor.
Oh no, Kent Hovind doesn't know the first fucking thing about quantum field theory.
Well, I barely know anything about it, but I mean, I understood what you just said. It just is, like, what you've got to understand is that they're working from their conclusion. So they're kind of like, well, it's got to be this way because that's the conclusion that we've reached. The universe is 6,000 years old. So I don't know how you address that with logic and facts. And I was talking to I think it was Jess. I was talking like, how do you address sort of popularism? Like they're not listening to logic and facts. They're listening to what they want to hear and the feeling that they have, kind of thing. It's very, very odd to try and rationally reason into that. But I think you're doing a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I'm not sure how you get through to some people.
I mean, I do have a method that I use. It's not,
okay.
I like when I talk with creationists, if I'm trying to like actually make them realize that, hey, this is kind of wrong and dumb, I don't throw scientific facts at them. One of my favorite ones is to just ask them, like, do you understand that there are tens of billions of dollars invested in the fossil fuel industry? To which it says, of course there is. Yeah, there's lots of money. I say, oh, yeah. Do you know the kind of methods they use for finding reserves of petroleum? A lot of them are like, no. And I say, they use radiometric dating to do that, right?
Yeah.
And you know that we can use those same methods to determine the age of the Earth and a variety of other things that we want to determine the age of. So you say that the Earth is only 6,000 years old. Radiometric dating, the same method that capitalists are investing literally tens of billions of dollars on. You think it's wrong? You think why are they investing all this money if this method doesn't work? How is it working and paying off for them if it doesn't work? Will you really think that like the head of ExxonMobil would invest in a method that can't be shown to work to the tune of tens of billions of dollars? And then they're just kind of like, what? And it's connecting them to something in the real world rather than throwing all of the scientific facts at them that they're not going to understand anyway, because if they did, they wouldn't be a creationist in the first place. So connecting them with something in the real world, even if they're like still in rejection mode, you can almost always see on their face that the gears are turning. Like they got the point there.
Well, that's cognitive dissonance. It's nobody would invest in something that is worth that much, and this method doesn't work. You know, like that is the dissonance there. It's trying to hold two ideas that are contradictory to one another. A powerful tool.
Well, the icing on the cake for that one is I usually approach it from the opposite direction. I point out, the fossil fuel companies use radiometric dating and other techniques. They tried to use young Earth creation-based techniques and failed. The company went bankrupt because it doesn't actually work.
Well, the company was Zion Oil over in Israel, and they didn't go bankrupt because they basically went to a geological company and asked for a ground scan and stuff. So,
okay, so fair enough.
So they basically went to the scientists after failing miserably. Yeah.
The point is that the system doesn't work, and it has been tried, and it was shown to not work.
It's like, should we use dowsing rods to find water to dig our wells, or should we use what is it, LiDAR or whatever it is that they use to find water? Like, which one should we be fucking using here?
I know. I'm like, I've got my petroleum dowsing penny whistle.
I was just going to say, Jeffrey, hand me my dowsing rod. I must find the water.
Yeah, but that's where it gets to dangerous territory. Like people, instead of giving their daughter insulin, they're praying to Jesus to cure her, and that's where we get into dangerous territory.
I'll say 4 Hail Marys over her body and that everything will be fine.
Yeah. Well, that actually happened in Australia, and it was just horrific. And the most horrific part about it was the way afterwards they were basically saying, well, she's in heaven now, so, no harm, no foul kind of thing. It was just ridiculous.
They're just so pro-life that, they'll kill their children. And when they do, they're in heaven now. So
yeah. So they didn't really die. They might have corporally died, but it was spiritually they'd live.
I've always hated that they're in a better place thing. I'm like, if you want to lie to yourself, have at it. I won't stop you if it makes you feel better. If it helps you get through the
transdirectionalated into a different dimension.
Mm.
They're not dead. They're just someplace else.
They're not dead. They're vitality challenged.
What was it? iZombie? There was a show where they had undead characters and they referred to themselves as the living impaired.
Sounds familiar.
Wasn't that the one with Drew Barrymore in it? iZombie? Wasn't that the one with maybe? No, that was the Santa Clara diet or whatever.
That often. It's awful. It's an oof, I dare say. All right. Well, let's continue on. Maybe it'll come to me.
Put more energy than 1 billion nuclear warheads into a point smaller than a proton before. We've done that. It's probably happening right now at the Large Hadron Collider at CERN in Switzerland. This is how we found out the internal structure of protons. The energy present when 2 protons collide is, we're talking on the order of tens of trillions of degrees Fahrenheit for a fraction of a second. So we have put much more energy that is contained than what is contained in a gallon of milk into something significantly smaller than the period on a sentence. I don't know what Kent is talking about. If he taught physics, he certainly didn't teach particle physics or high energy physics. I've noticed that he still hasn't presented a model, nor has he provided any reasonable objections to the model that I've outlined or the empirical data that confirms its accuracy. At this point, I wonder if he has one.
All right, I appreciate that 4 minute.
Really does fly.
Can I say something really quickly?
I mean, that's why you're here.
I'm kind of gonna stroke myself a little bit here, but I forgot how much I fucking cooked in those rebuttals.
Yeah.
Like Kent is burnt chicken right now, just sitting in the pan. Just it's a lump of charcoal at this point.
Well, Kent is amazing. I mean, he is self-cooking. That is sort of something I rarely see in these debates. But yeah, no, your rebuttals were fantastic. You really pointed out that he hasn't actually, what he does is he conflates and he straw man. So he just brings up this ridiculous straw man of the theory and then goes, look, I've shown it to be incorrect. And it's like, no, you've shown your inaccurate misunderstanding to be incorrect. But we know that's incorrect, so absolutely. He hasn't provided any rebuttal. He's basically said, oh, you think that things were in a dot, and it's just like, come on, dude, seriously.
You put you put a gallon of milk into a dot.
And if you don't worship God, you worship yourself. And it's just like, that's not a rebuttal at all.
Pine trees can turn into elephants.
I feel like we need a straw man plushie, so that when somebody like Kent comes out, we can be like, oh, here's the straw man. Here we go.
And then hit it with the hammer and be like, oh, it's just straw man logic. It's just your straw man logic.
Oh, my goodness. I do appreciate, though, as much criticism as I aim at Donnie, I do appreciate that when he saw Kent was doing that bullshit, he made Leo full screen. Because Kent apparently has been doing that the entire time Leo was talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's on a completely different slide than it was.
Yeah.
Oh
man. And also, I feel the psychic pressure from the people watching. If you want to stroke yourself a little bit, head on over to adamandeve.com. Checkout for 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Still not my ad. I pirated it. But
I was gonna say, dude, are they like sponsoring your channel? Because that's fucking sweet if they are. Shit.
Still not sponsored somehow, but that's okay. I just stole Brentley's because I'm a pirate.
Just stole Brentley's. Yeah. It's got to be the best pirate I've ever seen.
You guys mentioned pirate, and now a bit of an adult pirate joke popped into my head, but it is kind of funny. Do you guys?
I know Brentley actually.
It's not super bad. It's really not.
Is it R-rated?
Yeah, it certainly is R-rated.
Yeah, R-rated. I'm up for an R-rated.
Call my bet a pirate ship the way I'm about to plunder that booty.
Nice.
Oh, we get to walk the plank, do we? Oh,
doing something with a plank.
It's my flogger and belaying pin. Never mind. Miranda sends a super chat for $10. Thank you, Miranda. And says, Strawman plushie, new merch. It crossed my mind. In fact, you probably know by now, my merch is done through Fourth Wall because they have YouTube integration and they let me get the prices relatively low and so on and so forth. And apparently the shirts are extra comfy. They do offer plushies, but there's a minimum order of 300 units to do them.
Oh.
That's just not going to happen ever. But it's maybe in other stores. I don't know. But it's a possibility.
You're going to roll right off the desk.
Not, but it might be. Anyway, thank you, Miranda. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, I guess it's time for Kent to rebuttal.
Bye. I know. Gentlemen, great debate so far. We've got over 300 people in the chat. People are loving this. This certainly is, this is epic. It's a big one. So we're going to hand it over to Dr. Hovind. You now have 4 minutes of uninterrupted rebuttal.
Dr. Hovind. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Every time I think of that time we had Ian Chen on, and in Ian's debate against Kent, where he got a diploma mill doctorate too, so he was Dr. Ian, and so you and I were Doctors Mark and Ember, and everybody's doctor. It was so fun.
That was
fantastic. If you haven't seen that, it's on the playlist. Debate reviews.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I don't know about any more because this has been 4 years since this debate happened. But when it did, it was actually one of the larger ones on his channel at the time. Like it was in the top 3 or 4, I think.
Mm.
So I think
That,
it's
that makes
interesting.
sense, because getting Kent
Well-
to talk about something other than evolution is tricky.
Yeah, I
he
asked
won't.
Donnie about this, and it's like a day or two later, he's like, "Yeah, Kent's down." And I'm just like, "Huh, all right."
Well, I'm amazed that he debated the Noah's Ark with me. Like, seriously, that was tragic for him. But hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, as long as it works, I suppose. Oh my.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. I have no problem claiming the heavens declare the glory of God. I don't have any problem stepping outside, looking at the stars off our sand dune out here, where we have a special deck for looking at stars with no light to distract you, and say, "Wow, God, you're amazing." Okay. When I consider the heavens, the work of the fingers, the moon, the stars, which Thou hast ordained, what is man that Thou art mindful of him?
Wait.
See, when
Is
I
this a rebuttal or is this the preaching section of the debate? Like, this is preaching.
Maybe he doesn't have anything to rebut.
He doesn't have anything to say.
Like, seriously, you could at least try. This is just what are you doing? I always have said, like, you can tell a creationist is in trouble when they start to preach, like when they just go and read Bible verses. Always, that's their go-to when they have nothing for you.
Yep. He's just tank is empty. It's time for psalms.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to put some psalms over those wounds.
look at the stars, I realize how small man is. I think when Leo looks at the stars, he thinks, "Oh, we are God. We're in charge of the universe. We're it. We've evolved to the peak, from the stardust for some reason." Okay. Anyway, so when you look at the stars and you want to calculate,
literally, no one is looking at the stars and going, "Oh, we're the God. We're the master of the universe." No,
we're looking at stars and saying, "That's God," not "we're God." I look up and I go,
imagine, though, if we looked at a star and went boom and it went supernova, like, I mean, hundreds of years ago it went supernova and the light reached when we went boom. Like, our power to explode stars extended that time, that would be pretty freaking godlike.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah. Not that I'd explode. I think stars are pretty. And also there might be aliens living there. I'd like to meet them someday.
We more look at stars and go, how does that work? Like, we study them, we don't worship them, and it's kind of scary. You see two galaxies colliding with one another. It's kind of like, ooh, that's a bit frightening, but no one's worshipping them. What I don't.
Well, the Ra people are, well, okay, there's a neo-Raist cult running around that believes that Ra looks down from every star, including the binary and trinary stars, which must give him cool depth perception effects, I guess.
Right.
calculate the distance. Okay. Now that's another long. Okay. Where did I get off? Okay.
Oh,
there.
Please don't get off.
Okay. Trigonometry. I did teach trig for a long time, Leo, and I think if you have a different method of measuring these distances on your supercomputer, so I understand you can measure angles if you know the points, but you don't know that. With simple trig, to measure an unknown distance, you have to have at least one side and two angles, or two sides and one angle. If you're looking at an object and hold your right eye and left eyes, just blink right eye, left eye, you will see it appears to move in the background. That's called parallax trigonometry. Problem is with your eye.
Well, no, that's parallax, but the trigonometry is when you do math based on the measurements from it's not important. The point is, Kent is not even really understanding the very basics of the thing he's talking about, which is a shock to everyone, I'm sure.
You mentioned standard candles, which are sort of stars that are so we can tell what distance they are due to the light that they give out. And you mentioned other ways that we can tell, not just trigonometry, but obviously he didn't listen, because Kent never listens to he always has things that he just trots out. He doesn't actually listen to people.
Yeah, he has no idea what a Cepheid variable is, or anything to do with the
type 1A supernova,
the time curve on type 1A supernova and shit. He has no fucking clue.
Balls, you get them crossed if you go too far. Okay, the Earth is about 8,000 miles in diameter. That's as far away as you can possibly get from anybody in a straight line. 8,000 miles, 7,926.
Well, I mean, you could get into an Apollo module, but never mind. let's say,
Yeah, but
for the sake
it's
of
not
argument.
really in a straight line either. Like that's a.
It's
I
true.
mean, I don't.
Because like we're we're within a few thousand miles of opposite sides of the planet from each other, but we
Right.
couldn't just go 8,000 miles and visit.
No. And that's certainly not where the connection is going. It's going like across undersea cables. So I don't know. Like Kent just says some weird, unrelated stuff. Like we can only go so. Like this is flat Earth arguments, right? Like big numbers, scary kind of thing. You know, like oh, you know, it's so far to the apparent horizon it couldn't. It's just ridiculous. Like what's this got to do with telling the size of the universe? Or is he trying to claim that the universe isn't actually as big as we claim it is?
I'm not sure where he's going with this, but the similarity with flat Earth, as we've mentioned many times before, young Earth and flat Earth may as well be there. In fact, there's a lot of young Earthers who are flat Earthers because they're both the same conspiracy theory based on the same source material.
Yeah.
It's wild to me when Calvin from Answers in Genesis Canada starts railing against flat earthers because he's like, well, this is stupid and everyone should see how obviously ridiculous it is. It's like, my guy, they're saying the same things as you are for the same reason. Apply your own standard to the thing you believe. Holy shit.
If you want to be precise, depending if it's polar or equatorial. Okay, so to get a bigger angle on their telescope, to their star distance, they look at the star in January and then look at it again in June, and now you are 16 light minutes away from where you were. It takes light 8 minutes to get from the sun to the Earth. So if you orbit around the Earth, around the sun one time, you now have a much bigger base on your triangle, 16 light minutes, much bigger base. That's the biggest base we can possibly get. Okay, so.
Well, that's not entirely accurate, but it's also not important because once you go beyond a certain distance, we're not using parallax anyway, but whatever.
1 light year, 1 year, has 525,948 minutes in it. That's a year. If that little yellow dot was Earth's orbit, not the Earth, the orbit of the Earth around.
I do have to give Kent credit here because... So there's a super famous musical called Rent, and it starts out with a song that infuriates me because it's not correct. Like if you're going to go out of your way to make your song not rhyme, you could use the correct number of minutes in a fucking year at the very least. I'm pedantic sometimes, and to start the musical that way, oh, it just frustrates. It's a great story. It's a very moving story, but to piss off the audience from the beginning, at least audience members like me, it's whatever. It's whatever. Kent may or may not be accurate, but this is a lot fucking closer than Broadway gets, so I'll give him partial credit there.
And you're trying to measure 1 light year. Let's see. Let's change all this light minutes to inches. 16 inches represents 16 light minutes. 1 year would be 525,000 inches, which equals 8 1/3 miles. So if you think you can measure the distance to something 8 1/3 miles away, using only 2 observers, 16 inches from each other with 2 telescopes, and the only thing you know is you're 16 inches from the other guy, and you want to measure the angle of declination between your 2 telescopes, like your eyeballs going crossed, okay? How far across would they be for 8.3 miles? That's a pretty skinny angle. And I don't think you can tell exactly where you were 6 months ago either. So a year around the sun.
What?
For fuck's sake. He really does have no idea how this works.
we don't know where we were 6 months ago because we don't precisely measure that. If I take GPS coordinates, write them down, yes, I'll be able to tell you exactly where I was 6 months ago. He's just conflating the idea of, oh, you don't remember what you were doing exactly 6 months ago as to, oh, you can't possibly measure this with any accuracy. It's a ridiculous conflation of conflating Kent. He always does this. He's conflating your your about where you are with making precise measurements. Why, Kent? Seriously, the dishonesty of this guy is just incredible.
Oh yeah, it knows no bounds. He'll straw me. I mean, no, this argument only even pretends to make sense when you reduce it down to like, oh, it's inches, so it's a very tiny distance. But it's not though. Like that's your version of it. But also, fun fact, I actually did put my camera in exactly the same place, exactly 6 months apart once. And this is what happened. I found there's this in Indiana. I was an over-the-road truck driver at the time, and one terminal on the end of my run was in Plymouth, Indiana. And just outside Plymouth, Indiana was the Yellow River. And there was this bridge where there was enough room to actually pull over a tractor trailer. So I pulled over in the summer, and I found a spot on the bridge where I could remember exactly the precise spot down to the millimeter where I put the camera. And I came back 6 months later to the day and took another picture so I could create this.
That is really fucking cool.
So fuck off, Kent.
Like, I really want that picture as my phone background right now. I'm being completely honest. That is a gorgeous fucking photo.
Well, thank you. It was the most in like extended project I had done to date because it was 6 months apart, and also I didn't have Photoshop at the time, so I fused the photos like pixel by pixel through GIMP and shit. It just, yeah. So I'm glad you like it, but the point was that Kent doesn't know what he's talking about. Shock.
Yeah.
1 light year is an angle of 0.017 degrees. Okay, let's say we can measure that 0.017 from a moving Earth spinning around. And depending upon your latitude, here's about 886 miles an hour at Lenox, Alabama, 31 degrees north of the equator. But depending on your latitude and your velocity, and plus your velocity going around the sun, plus there's the sun going around our galaxy, and you're going to try to measure off of this moving object. Get in your car, go 100 miles an hour, and try to calculate the distance across a cornfield with parallax trigonometry with a car going 100 miles an hour. Okay.
30 seconds.
Yep. 2 surveyors in Florida, both of them looking at a dot in Chicago, would be the equivalent of 100 light.
Oh, now he is a flat earther. If your surveyors are in Florida looking at a dot in Chicago.
I wonder if that's the same dot that all that milk got compressed into.
I'm sure.
Yeah, obviously. Everyone knows Chicago is well known for milk.
Well, I mean, you have that giant fucking bean, right? So you need some milk to go with it, right?
And men still can't find it.
It's true. Damn it, Amish Kapoor.
Light years. You guys make up these numbers of 15 billion light years, and I don't think you can tell those distances. I'm sorry. They may be that far away, but we don't know. And all they're using is redshift.
Wow.
I disagree completely. I'd rather give God the...
Well, that's another thing. He does acknowledge there's other measurements. We can get a rough estimate if we can measure a star's surface brightness, because the surface brightness is the indicator of temperature, right? Like we know from other science that the brightness of the thing is entirely determined by its temperature plus its surface area. And so we could use that information to determine precisely what the star is, how dense it is, a bunch of different factors. But once we have that, we can use the redshift data and calculate exactly, within certain error bars, but they're pretty damn narrow error bars, how far away the thing is. It's pretty neat. So yeah, we don't have to use parallax for everything. Sometimes we can use redshift. For one example.
Glory for the stars. Go ahead.
All right, perfect timing. Thank you so much, Kent. That concludes the opening statements and 2 uninterrupted rebuttals. We are
Before we get into
the
open statement, can I? Oh, that's not the button I wanted. I wanted to share an image, just to really drive this point home, if I may.
How do I? Maybe if I do this. There we go. Now it's big.
So this is how we can measure distance to a variety of things. I want somebody to tell me where they see trigonometry written down. And just for those that can't read down here, the light green boxes are techniques applicable to star-forming galaxies. The light blue boxes are techniques applicable to population 2 galaxies. The purple boxes are geometric distance techniques. And the red box is the planetary nebula luminosity function technique. So there's a variety of ways that we can measure distances to things at extragalactic scales. Like this is something cosmologists have been doing for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit! Now I'm big.
Oh, well, it's just a fancy name for trigonometry. I taught math in school.
Oh, that's not the button I wanted. I can't. Shit. I can't get to the stream controls because like I made the thing full screen, so I need Leo's thing. Okay, now I've got this thing. Now let's go back to this thing. Okay, that's better. I don't mind being large when I know it's coming, but like suddenly I'm like, oh shit, what's happening? Oh boy.
As always on this channel, we strive to keep these discussions equally timed and professional, of course. Let's start by asking each other questions and allowing enough time to answer each question. We will do our best to make sure each debater is asking the questions they feel are necessary given the topic. Kent just ended with his rebuttal, so let's hand it over to Leo. Maybe there's a couple points you wanted to address or a question and a question you might want to ask. So gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Yeah, for Kent, do you know what standard candles are in cosmology?
There we go.
Yeah, good question.
Asking the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're.
I love the look on his face. It's like, somebody Google that quickly. Of course he doesn't know.
Kevin, what the fuck? What does he mean, candle?
Steve, can we get that up on Google quick? Can we find Wikipedia? Okay.
Can you get that? What do you mean Steve stole my money? What?
Yeah, the brightness of how compared to a standard candle, they look at a light and see how bright it is. If it's the same light, if you know it was the same intensity of light but further away, it would give a diminishing return. The standard candles. Yes, I'm very familiar with that. Go ahead.
And so you do realize.
Yeah, very familiar. Very familiar. Obviously. That's why you compare it to a standard candle, and if you can tell how bright it is from the light.
You look at the brightness, and you get a diminishing return. It's like, wait, when did we get into economics here, big guy? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I know.
The marginal utility of the light coming from distant objects.
You look at the light, and you get compound interest, and then you do negative gearing, and you come out with a good return on investment. Yeah, that's yes, I know all about them. Yeah.
I suspect, to give Kent the benefit of the doubt, he was almost close to a point on that one. There's
I think I do give it to him.
Square law.
Like I will go out on a limb and say that he's heard of it generally, but he does not actually know how it works.
Yeah,
I'd say that's probably accurate. Oh my.
Yeah.
That's generally the method that we use.
So you're saying you measure the distance to these stars based on how bright it is?
Well, not the star that we're measuring. Stars whose have a known intrinsic brightness that doesn't change relative to those distances. Wait, okay. Do you think that we're getting like exact to the inch measurements on these distances, or do you think that it's probably within maybe a few million miles?
I did not say that. I did not say they're getting exact to the inch measurements. And as I've said,
that's why I was asking.
Well, okay, the stars might be billions of light years away. They could be. The numbers could be accurate, but that wouldn't mean anything has to do with the age. That's a distance. That's all. So if it was created right.
Because the speed that light travels is a constant through a vacuum, that is the age.
It means it takes time for light to get places. And if you know how fast light is moving and you know where it came from, you can figure out how far away it is.
Correct.
Yeah. Although we can speed it up and slow it down by messing with our own time flow, like by hanging around a black hole, for example. It makes the light look like it's going very quick.
But it's like saying, okay, well, you know, you've got a car traveling at a set speed. It's this amount of distance away, but that doesn't tell you how long it'll take to get to you. Yeah, it does. It 100% does. Oh boy.
Aye.
There 10 seconds ago, 14 billion light years away. It could be 10 seconds old. You're confusing distance with age.
We don't use distance to the stars to measure the age of the universe, Kent.
How old is the universe, Leo?
We don't know how old the universe is. What we can say is that we can go back to roughly about 13.8 billion years ago. Whether that's the beginning or whether we can go back even further, we don't know yet.
What do you mean you can go back 13 point? I'd love to go back 5 seconds many times in my life and undo the dumb thing I just did. You can go back in time.
I bet.
Yeah.
For real.
Maybe not cheat on your taxes or allow certain people into your theme park. You know,
Maybe there is a God. Because if Kent got back the 8 years of his life he lost in prison, how much more dangerous? First of all, Eric Hovind wouldn't have been able to raid the family fortune and be the political terror he's turned himself into.
That's true.
But Kent would be much, much richer. He'd still have the 14 million Eric stole. Well, unless, you know, Steve met him sooner. I don't know.
Wait, his own son. Why the fuck do I smell diesel? His son stole money from him?
Oh, yeah. When he was in prison, he had to turn over the ministry to Eric so that the government didn't take all of it. And Eric went, thank you, and ran. That's why he had to move Dinosaur Adventureland, because Eric owns the property in Florida.
Well, he had to sell a whole lot off as well to cover the sort of bills due on things and the costs that he incurred. But yeah, Eric just took the whole lot and left.
Yeah, in fairness, it wasn't 14 million at the time. It was more like 8 million, whatever. Eric has made some in the time since. He's a fair grifter. But details.
I don't think that's true.
Excuse me?
I'm trying to understand.
Wait, when did I say we could go back in time? Do you not know what inverse means? Do you not know what it means to extrapolate back?
I do.
Like if somebody said, hey, let's go back to when you were in high school in a discussion, do you literally think they mean that you're time traveling? Or do you think that they mean let's talk about this moment in the past?
No, it's in your mind. You go back to high school. I can remember that vaguely.
Yeah, so when we say let's go back to the Big Bang, what we're saying is let's inverse back to the moments that we call the Big Bang. We can do that by taking the expansion rate of space-time, inversing the functions, which would give us a contraction, and we can go back to where we can't contract anymore. That point, like I said in my opening statements, when we correct for, you know, modern observations, dark matter and dark energy and the accelerated expansion of space-time, we have to correct for those to the initial derivations to be accurate. We get about 13.78 billion years. Yes.
Okay.
So you should be asking questions in this one, Leo. So I'm gonna criticize a little that, like, you could hem him in with questions right now. It is a bit of a wasted opportunity to sort of give facts to him when you could be really asking him questions about stuff.
Yeah, I'm not as big on questions as a lot of other people are.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Well,
I mean, it is a
hammering people down on points and then correcting them.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But it is a cross-examine, which means that really Donnie should be jumping in.
Right here.
Oh, it's open discussion.
Yeah, we didn't do any
I thought it was cross-examination.
I don't like cross-examination. That's particularly because I don't really. I'm not like, I ask questions as the discussion progresses and as I have questions to ask. I'm not big on. I have a set of questions that I'm ready to ask. It's just not me.
All right. Well, then I take that back. You know, if it's not cross-exam, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you can do what you like. I mean, I get what you're doing, how you're making him look silly, which is very effective as a rhetorical strategy.
That Donnie said it was a cross-exam. I could have been mistaken, though. I absolutely could have been
mistaken. He might have said that in mistake, but yeah, it was,
gotcha.
An open dialogue.
Okay.
That you can measure the distance accurately based on either luminosity, candle power, or parallax-trigonometry. Or what about that you admitted that light can be speeded up or slowed down by going through different mediums? Do you know what's out there in space in all the different mediums? Could it be the light is? Could it be that 500 miles off the surface of the Earth won't be something thicker?
Well, for the most part, we do. But you said how do you get times measuring the distances of what?
No, I'm asking you. Do you know what the medium of space is? If the space-time is expanding, is it therefore growing less dense? I mean, most things when a balloon expands, the molecule.
If space is expanding, at what point does it change from a medium to a large? I'll see myself out.
I'll supersize. Can I supersize my universe, please?
Yes. I need extra fries. We're gonna need more universe for that.
So you're basically saying we should change rapid expansion to supersizing. That's basically what I'm hearing right now.
It'd help.
It's not the Big Bang. It's we got supersized.
It's the Big Mac.
That's correct. Yep.
Oh shit. What's inflation? The instant when your credit card processed when you upsized your Happy Meal. Or something. I don't know. Is the universe a happy? I may be hungry, folks. It's fine. Don't mind me.
Is the space-time, is it becoming less dense, so therefore light would travel faster or slower?
Less dense. Is the space, the empty space with no matter in it, is the space becoming less dense? I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, we're currently at something like in interplanetary space, it's something like 10 hydrogen atoms per square meter, something like that. And as space expands, it will actually become sparser and sparser and sparser. But the space does not have density.
Yeah.
How do you get less dense if you have no density? It seems, I don't know. I'm probably being silly. Don't mind me.
Space becoming less dense, or are the
I'm
things
asking you,
in
you're
space becoming less dense as
you're
they're
Yeah.
I should have just let Leo cook.
Mm-hmm.
You're
carried by its
claiming that
expansion?
no, you are claiming space-time is expanding. I'm asking, do you know what the medium is of space-time, whatever that is that light is traveling through?
Yeah, I'm asking for clarification to figure out what it is that you're asking me.
I can
Are you
run back
asking me if it's the space-time itself that's diluting, or are you asking me if the things in space-time are diluting under the expansion? Because those are two different questions.
Right. If space-time is expanding, then is it becoming a less dense medium, therefore affecting the speed of light, therefore affecting your measurements?
No, space-time does not get less dense.
Space-time is expanding, but it does not get less dense. That
is correct. That is because it is a metric expansion of the scale in space-time. You cannot think of the expansion of space-time as if it were an object growing physically larger in some pre-existing space. That is simply not what the expansion of space-time is.
So, in your theory, space-time is expanding into what? What's on the other side?
It's not expanding into anything because, again, space-time is not some physical object physically growing, physically larger in some otherwise pre-existing space. It is a metric expansion of the scale of space-time that is measured over sufficient distances. It is an intrinsic expansion.
Can you explain space-time to an average person? What is this exactly?
I thought he knew all about it. He knows all about it, you know.
Oh, taught it for 15 years.
I got run to the loo real quick, but I got my headphones in, so I'll still be listening.
No worries. We kind of explain it in certain sort of ways with two dimensions, like a sheet, you know, and gravity is like an object placed upon the sheet. So gravity is distortion in that space-time. And, you know, I just sort of, well, yeah, we kind of get a grasp on it, but we don't completely understand it. Like, you could say back to Kent, well, can you explain exactly how this God works? Of course he can't. It's just miracles occur, right? Like, that's what God can do anything. Well, then you haven't explained your God and biblical cosmology either.
Yeah, the double standards, they never end. But it's amazing to me that he's like, okay, so I'm not following, but I'm not going to say that. Can you explain it so the viewers at home can understand?
Right. Yeah.
I have no model. I'm just going to nitpick yours. This is Kent's. This is his version of skepticism, where I say, you know, you don't have to know everything about physics the way Leo does in order to be a skeptic. You just have to be willing to say, I don't know. And how do you know? You know? This is Kent's version, is if I can just pick apart the thing you say, I don't have to defend mine.
And the thing was that we thought that it could be some kind of sort of object in space. So that was the luminiferous ether that they were talking about. Leo mentioned earlier the Michelson-Morley experiments, which showed that it was not a thing like an actual medium itself, right? Like, it wasn't a medium like water or you know, this luminiferous ether, which was how light propagated through this medium, that it was sort of the fabric of the universe that wasn't a medium, right? So his questions are in error to begin with, because he's thinking of it as some sort of physical medium, and it's not. Like, it's not. And that was the Michelson-Morley experiment. I'll look it up. It was kind of Earth's relation to the speed of light, and they basically they basically debunked this whole idea of an aether to be able to transmit light. That was not happening.
Right. The idea was that because the speed of light is constant, that if you take a laser and you project it through a splitter so that one goes one way and one goes in a perpendicular direction, then the movement of the Earth through space will slightly interfere with the speed of one while not affecting the other in the same way, possibly not at all, depending on the angle, whatever the case may be. And so when the lasers are reflected back and rejoined, they would create interference. And that didn't happen. But that's a cool thing because that's the same basic principle behind the LIGO detector, is detecting the interference of split laser beams.
Right.
Yeah, it was essentially a way of trying to detect Earth's drag through the ether to thereby show that the ether is a thing using light. And what we found is that it's not. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's nifty. It's fun. It's exciting. But the point is that light doesn't actually have like a framework that it moves through.
Right. So this idea of what, how is the medium of space? Well, it's not a medium. That's the whole point. Like, it's not a medium like water or air or anything like it. It's the background of the universe. It's sort of like saying, like if you move like dots away from one another on a balloon, it's like saying, the density is getting less. Well, no, not between the dots. No.
Really
I don't know. There's what's a good
Just
analogy, Leo?
For the expansion of space?
Yeah.
I mean, all models have their flaws. I kind of like raisin bread because the bread expands, but the raisins stay the same size.
Really quick in the chat, Jackie, is that you, Jackie? Is that Modal Logic, Jackie, from Breakfast Tacos channel? Is that you, or is this a different Jackie? But I'm not.
Yeah, Jackie was lurking and researching Kent's pseudo doctor thing.
The picture of the trailer, and I almost choked him.
Say what now? Oh, yeah.
The comment you highlighted. Yeah, you see the picture and you're just like, huh? What? What the fuck is that?
I know. It's like that. That's your Patriot Bible College, huh? Okay. Yeah. All right. That is the Jackie of the tacos, apparently.
Hell yeah.
It's why is everything food based? I'm so hungry. All right.
Other than that, it is a four-dimensional manifold that, at least classically, all of the mass energy that we see is weaved into. Yeah. It is a dynamic manifold. It can be affected by things inside of it. It can affect things inside of it.
Wait a minute. So the mass and the energy are woven into space-time.
I love it when he does that.
Space-time is.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna call them Kentisms. I'm gonna start going. Wait a minute. Okay.
Oh,
I'm just like doing those little things in debates, calling my Kentisms.
Oh yeah.
Clearing my
let me
throat.
stop and identify.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Delay
Dogs in the pine trees.
Identify. Oh man.
No, physicists do not know what space-time is ontically.
Okay. Do you know that space-time even exists?
Yes.
Where's the evidence for that? I'd like to
General
see that.
relativity, the fact that it can be curved under the stress from mass and energy.
So space-time, which you don't know what it is expanding. The galaxies aren't getting farther away. The space-time between them is expanding, but you don't know what it is, and there's stuff woven through it, and it's curved.
Space-time is curved? Generally, well, we can measure curvature in space-time as a result of mass energy. Yes, that's what we call gravity.
Okay.
If space-time wasn't a real thing, what's being curved?
So space-time is being curved because of gravity.
So because of mass energy. Gravity is the curvature.
Okay, so gravity has an effect on this space-time that you believe in?
No,
Gravity has an effect
mass
on
and energy
that you believe in. Oh. Do you worship gravity, son?
Okay, wait a minute.
When you fall down, do you praise your divine being for
How does
bridging
gravity evolve into mosquitoes?
through it, and it's expanding. But you know the speed of light has remained the same all through all that, all the time, don't you?
Mhm. Yes, we do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Did somebody go out there and measure it?
What do you mean by measure? Like,
Well, is anybody out
Were you there? Wow.
Did you take a test tube and put gravity in it?
I should have just been like, yeah, we sent a sheriff with a speed gun out to like
Yeah.
far away in space, and he was like, "Photon's coming in. I got him.
Yep.
And we have 186,282 miles per second. Yeah, there it is. That's how we did it. That's how we measured it.
Somebody write him a ticket. Oh, no. So I mentioned last week that I worked with Dr. Heltenarp with the Max Planck Institute on tired light, and it didn't work. This is one of the things we tried. It was like the first thing we tried. This was Halton's idea, was that if the speed of light remained constant relative to the total density of the universe, then as the universe expands, light should be losing energy to that expansion effect, which of course is literally the cosmological redshift, but he was trying to make the math work a different way so that a photon would just redshift the longer it exists. And we just could not make it work. Like it was wishful math. We never produced anything that we could even submit for peer review because it always just kept coming up with the same calculations that Alpha and Gamma came up with for the cosmological redshift.
The other thing
Einstein,
about... Go ahead, Mark.
Well, Einstein made novel testable predictions based upon it, like the retrograde of... what was it? The retrograde of Neptune,
Mercury.
I think it was. Was it
Mercury.
Was it Mercury? Okay, gotcha.
It was the
yeah,
precession of Mercury.
Precession of Mercury. Thank you. So, you know, we know this works because we've actually implemented it into practical predictions and been accurate in using them. If Leah already said, if you want to challenge Einstein, have at it. Publish and be damned.
One of the things that I wanted to say about the constancy of the speed of light is that there's just this funny little thing in physics called Lorentz symmetry, which effectively means that the laws of physics are invariant in all inertial frames of reference. All of physics depends on Lorentz symmetry. Classical mechanics, classical field, or at least relativistic classical mechanics, classical field theory, quantum field theory. I think there's a lot of stuff in statistical mechanics that it relates to. So if the speed of light wasn't constant, then all of physics would be wrong. Particle decay rates wouldn't be what they are, and reality would look very fucking different from what it looks like. And like that's the thing, is the decay rates of fundamental particles depend on the constancy of the speed of light. So if that changes, the whole standard model of elementary particles would just be wrong. If you want to claim it is, great. Just show me how.
And
As
I
simple as
pointed
that.
out,
Show your work.
who was that creationist that I mentioned that was a physicist? I can't remember his name, but he relied. Oh God, I've forgotten his name again. He's just
Lyle
so
or
forgettable. Danny Faulkner, and he sort of said, yeah, you cannot change the speed of light and have the universe function as we know. Like it can't be done. So even creationists who are aware of physics go, yeah, you can't just speed up or slow down the speed of light. It just doesn't work.
It would be like claiming that the fine structure constant is like way different, and then electromagnetism would work the same way because it wouldn't. Funnily enough,
yeah, and so
the speed of light is given largely by the fine structure constant. So that's
Well, Danny Faulkner relies on miracle. Basically, he goes to miracle, but you know, he realizes that, hey, you can't appeal to the speed of light naturally increasing over a distance. It just doesn't work. So Kent here is just sort of, basically Donnie is sort of semi-famous for his crew coming in and thinking they can rewrite physics. there was the geologist and some other guy. What was geologist? Dave McQueen unfortunately passed away.
God,
but
that guy.
David McQueen and what was his name? Someone Bond. Like they said they were going to come up with a new physics to solve the heat problem because radioactive decay, they need it to act faster, a lot faster, with less heat produced. So really they were just talking about rewriting physics, and it's like they never solved it. I'll break the news to you, spoiler alert. They never managed to solve that one, and rightfully so. You have to rewrite physics in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And Kent Hovind's too uninformed in the subject to realize that he's seriously talking right now about writing physics again from the bottom up. Have at it, my guy. Good luck.
And since we're on the subject of the heat problem, I will once again reiterate my invitation to Ken Ham. I do have a solution to the heat problem, and you can purchase this solution for exactly enough money to end world hunger. For that price, I will let you have that one.
James Bond? James Bond. I have no idea. I've forgotten his name completely.
I have almost 75 pages of work showing why there are 3 generations of matter. If physicists want it, you can pay me $50 million and it will be yours.
There you go.
I don't even want the Nobel Prize. Just give me the $50 million and it's yours.
What do you mean by 3 generations of matter?
That there are electrons, tauons, and muons. I think it's actually electrons, muons, and tauons. Like you've got the up and the down quark, which would be the first generation, and then the charm and the strange quark, which would be the second generation, and then the top and the bottom quark, which would be the third generation. Yeah. So
sounds quirky.
And then you've got like electrons, electron neutrinos, muons, mu neutrinos, and then tauons and tau neutrinos. And then those are the 3 generations of matter, which increase in mass from the first to the third. And we have no fucking clue why there are 3 generations of matter. I have no fucking clue. That's not explained by the standard model.
It's just the way things seem to be. Yeah, we're not at the phase of the why so much as the how at this point. I mean, how we still only have to put an asterisk next to the freaking Higgs boson because we detected a thing and we predicted a thing. We're assuming the thing is the thing that we were looking for, but we haven't been able to fully confirm it yet, which is quite the thing, you might say.
They're measuring. How do you know the speed of light isn't increasing or decreasing just 1,000 miles from here?
Because we know how propagations through the electromagnetic field behave in the vacuum of spacetime.
Well, they've demonstrated the propagation of the electromagnetic field, light going through different mediums changes.
That's correct.
And there's nobody out there who knows what space-time is 10 million light years from here.
We don't need to know what space-time is to know that light moves at a constant speed through its vacuum.
So if it's a vacuum, then space-time isn't anything.
Well, a vacuum simply means that it's
a vacuum. How can stuff be woven through it if it's a vacuum?
Wait, hold on. First off, when I said woven through it, I'm speaking metaphorically. I said speak to somebody who that doesn't understand the techniques. That's what I'm trying to do. Also,
well, I would point out nobody understands what you're trying to say, including you. Okay.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
Nobody understands what you're trying to say. There is no such thing as space-time. You don't even understand it.
What do you mean?
There's no such thing as space-time.
I love it when they just go to straight reality denial. You don't exist, my friend.
This is flat Earth level stuff. This is the same as saying, well, there's no such thing as gravity. Okay.
Space is faking gay.
Density, guys.
Exactly. So do you think that space as a, as you said, a manifold, basically the fabric of reality, what do you think is there? What is it in your view? What is time in your view? How have you measured that? How do you do that? Like it's so wild that you have someone saying that they're a science teacher and then, basic physics, they're going, there's no such thing as space-time. Then why does matter cause time distortion? And we've measured that.
Like you agree time exists, I'm sure. And you agree space exists. So your problem is linking them together in a single fabric. But the thing of that is we tested that. That was Einstein's theorem, his main general thrust of his relativity, if you will. And we tested that. It made specific predictions, and we went and we found the right conditions for those specific predictions, which in that case happened to involve a total solar eclipse. And so Arthur Eddington tried twice on 2 epic fucking expeditions, got tried as a spy in Russia during a world war. It's a whole thing, but we fucking did it in 1917, or maybe it was 1919. One of those. We tested it. We showed that Einstein's math was correct, and therefore the entailments of his theorem that were proven correct by experimentation are that time-space is a single fabric. So what exactly is the problem? I'm knocking shit off my desk. I get all worked up.
Yeah.
But where's the
Ken will do that
robot?
Such thing as space-time. Well, the thing is, I've had this discussion with PhD physicists. They seem to understand what I'm saying just fine. Perhaps it's a mistake on your part, maybe?
No, I would like a jar of space-time to put in my science center right here. Can you give me a jar of it?
Yeah, actually, we could do...
Good news.
Just
Get
a jar.
Okay, I like a jar of space-time, okay?
Just get any jar. You will have space time. Congratulations.
I've got a jar of space-time.
I've got a jar of space-time. I've got a jar of space-time. And guess what's inside it?
It's
space-time.
Space-time in a bottle.
You know, that's like sort of saying, oh, well, neutrinos aren't real. I want a jar of neutrinos on my desk. You know, like it's just such a stupid thing to say.
Have you guys had it's rumored to be the greatest wine in the world. It is called Generalité. And it's about $15,000 a bottle. You open it up and you pour out that sweet space-time. I tell you what.
Well, I think Neurogeezer said a really good one. I'd like a jar of God. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you a jar of space-time when you give me a jar of God.
Hell yeah. I love it. What would you do with it? Like, would that be like if you catch a leprechaun, it has to grant a wish for you to release it so it can go back to wherever the fuck it came from? Is that how that works?
I think so.
Probably not. I don't know.
That we'd need a pretty strong jar and an extraordinarily powerful vacuum pump. Yes, but we could do that.
So if we get an extraordinary powerful vacuum pump and pump everything out of the jar, that
you will be left with the vacuum of space-time. Yes.
So the vacuum so space-time is actually nothing.
No. What do you mean by nothing?
A vacuum.
Well, if you're just
what
using
do you
the word
mean by
vacuum,
nothing?
Yeah,
Like you're saying this thing is nothing. Then how is it something? You moron. Like, seriously, you can't talk about nothing like it's something. Because it wouldn't be nothing. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Austin says, Ember, there is a solution to the heat problem. The planet is way older than 6,000 years. That's the solution.
You're a genius. You're a genius.
You're welcome. Now listen here.
He's onto something. This has been a pirate-themed episode, I gotta say. I think I'm gonna blame Leo for this one, quite frankly.
Avast.
Changeably, I'm going to need to know what you mean by
Quantize me, Captain.
Well, no molecules of any kind.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be nothing. You would still have quantum fields.
Okay. Does this air that I'm breathing right now contain molecules that I need? Oxygen, hydrogen, etc., carbon dioxide. But you want me to pump everything out of this jar, and then we're going to call it space-time, and it contains no molecules of any kind, but light travels through it at the same speed, and stuff is woven through it, and it's curved. What if I get a square?
Can be curved. Yeah, it would be fine. So I did have a question, somewhat of like a metaphorical question, like an analogical question. If there was nobody on a stage at a theater, do you still have? Is the stage still there?
Does the stage exist if nobody's on the stage? Certainly, yeah.
Okay, it's the same thing with space-time and mass energy. Just because there's no mass energy in space-time doesn't mean you still don't have space-time. Space-time is like the stage, and mass energy is like the actors on that stage. I mean, that's metaphorical. It's more technical than that, but
I think I understand it as well as anybody, and I think nobody understands it.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
Space-time's not real. I understand it as well as anybody. You know, stand aside. Stand aside, Sean Carroll. Stand aside. Wow, what a narcissist. Like, seriously, he obviously doesn't understand a damn thing. He doesn't even, like, understand how space-time curves, that the curvature on it is usually due to mass, right? Wow. Wow.
It reminds me so much of that football player that I've mentioned before in high school. He stood up in the middle of a pre-calc class and like got all pissy, and he was like, I don't understand this. No one understands this. You're all just pretending to understand to make me feel stupid. Like, if I don't get it, it can't be real. Okay, Kent. Fucking wild. It's so much like the
flooring.
Oh yeah. It's almost like there's an empty stage or something. I don't know.
Including you. So space-time is this jar I'm going to put in my science center, which contains a really strong vacuum, really strong jar, pump everything out of it. Now I have a jar of space-time. Light can travel through it, and electromagnetic energy can travel through it. And you know it always goes the same speed, and you know it can be curved, and stuff can be woven through it.
It goes the same speed in a vacuum, yes.
So if my jar was expanding, the distance on the two sides of the jar would not be getting further apart.
Well, depends how large is your jar. I mean, if you're talking about a jar that's hundreds of millions of light years long, yes, your jar would be expanding.
You can hear Ken's live studio audience there.
Yeah.
That's an adventure.
So this is just an argument from incredulity. Like, you've got all of these experiments, you've got all of these things showing exactly how we can measure that if you travel faster to the speed of light, that time dilates. If you have mass nearby, it also like how time and space directly affect one another, and the background of the universe is this space-time, and it curves in such a way that we think that if you keep going straight, you will go back to where you started from because of the way that it curves in on itself. So it has been postulated that the universe is finite but boundless. And if you can't understand how that works, take a walk on the Earth. It's finite, but it's boundless, okay? And that's in a two-dimensional space, right? You can keep walking and come back to where you were. It's not impossible.
You can break free from the limitation of the boundlessness, which is really abstract thinking, but basically, if you have sufficient velocity, in the case of the Earth, it's about 11.4 kilometers per second, if I remember correctly, you get to go up into space. And if you go a little bit faster, you can get right the hell out of the solar system. And but if you lack the sufficient velocity, you'll end up either curving around and around and around endlessly at some distance away from the gravitational center that you're trying to move away from. So if you're at the scale of the universe, then conceivably there is a certain velocity beyond which you will not curve around. You'll just keep on going.
Yeah. So finite but boundless. And maybe if we can get fast enough, we can somehow break that curvature of the universe. We don't know. We don't know any of this stuff. We don't know for sure. That's why we study it. Instead of just going, well, God done it, and then leaving it, then being an idiot and going on and saying there's no such thing as space-time. But I understand it just as much as anybody.
There's a talking donkey in it. It must be true.
There's also a talking cloud that hands a bunch of rules to a guy written on rocks on the top of a mountain. That's a thing that happened.
A very
talking clouds, rules on rocks.
Yep.
Nobody ever gave me any rock rules on a mountain. It's certainly not a cloud.
Well, you probably don't want them. A lot of them are about slavery, just saying.
The thing is, if a cloud handed me rules written on a rock on the top of a mountain, I would just be like, God damn, that's some really good shrooms, man. That's really
what was in that burning bush.
Well, that has been proposed as one explanation. You know, it has been proposed as one explanation. Just saying.
Oh my! Jester sends a super chat for $5. Thank you so much, Jester, and says I can prove that there is a fabric of. I can't pronounce that. I used to be able to pronounce that, but I can't pronounce whatever. something time. Behold, the fabric is created every time an intelligent person has to deal with Kent Hovind. Dun dun dun. Thank you, Justin.
Oh, he's a lolcow. Like, seriously, like the fact that he's laughing at something he claims to understand is just wild to me. It's wild. Like, you are not even well versed enough in the subject to realize the absurdity of what you've said.
Oh, he's just faking it. But that's one of the things that makes him so funny. Is like, it's all fakery from him. It's all, I'm going to pretend to know things. And the people who actually know the things are like, this fucking idiot. Oh my.
Because the space within it would be expanding, carrying the jar. Yes.
Okay. Well, I could rest my case at this point, but I think that the Bible clearly teaches that God created.
Book said a thing.
Book did say a thing.
There. Where's that emoji? Oh my. I do love to play with the emojis. And if you want to play with the custom emojis, it's not an Adam and Eve ad. This is a membership ad. You can be a sponsor of this channel. You can become a member for just 99 cents a month. You can have access to all the fun custom emojis. You get the cool name color in the chat. You're immune to slow mode. Not that I do that very often, but when I do, you're immune to it. A bunch of other things. If you want more than just cool chat effects, if you want access to a fuck ton of member exclusive content, there's higher levels. That also includes membership live stream, various other stuff. But if all you want is the emojis, like so much less than the cost of a cup of coffee. I got to practice that line. I'm cheap, folks. I'm very cheap. If you want to play with emojis, they were voted on by the members. They're democratic emojis. Seize the means of production and, help me afford food and electricity and things. I very much appreciate it.
And if you want to get your hands on a member, put in Brentley and adamandeve.com.
Oh my, I was not prepared. I should have been prepared, but I was not prepared.
Everything. You're unwilling to give God the glory for his creation and the stars and the matter
really quickly,
and everything, including, if we
Stop,
really came
stop,
here,
stop.
if we're
Like,
just about to
this is like, he's just basically telling you what you think now, which is just ridiculous.
That's what they all do. But I did, while we were talking about it, I felt I should mention, as the CFO of Antifa Inc., that we are currently running a sale on Molotov cocktails right now. They're about they're going for $24.99 versus the standard $32.99. You have to enter the code Kent is dumb at checkout, and you'll get a 10% discount on top of that. Yep. High quality Molotov cocktails. I mean, we get these exclusive from Russia.
Nice. That Russian vodka. I was actually looking for a baseball bat and some nails for unrelated purposes. Sure. Do you sell those?
Yes, we do sell them. The nails are already installed, if you know what I mean. Does that work? Is that okay? Possibly.
I mean, I might have to take them out for the completely unrelated purposes, but sure.
Okay. Yeah, those are on the website. We also have merch.
Nice. Antifa? I barely knew her.
Yeah. The all black clothing. The cell phone sleeve is one of my personal favorites. If you power off your cell phone, disconnect the battery, and put it in the cell phone sleeve, you cannot be tracked. It's true. Well, by your
I feel like just turning off the cell phone would do that, but sure.
The molecules arranged by chance. I don't see how you can trust your own thoughts and your reasoning processes. Maybe you got some chemicals in your brain backwards.
Has to do with cosmology.
Okay. Well, I typically debate on the creation evolution topic.
Nice.
Your Big Bang Theory is the absolute foundation for the evolutionists.
I fail to see how.
In order to have evolution, you must first have a universe.
In order to bake a cake, you must first have a universe.
He's just projecting because the Bible and God is the foundation for everything in their lives. So it's kind of this really, they don't partition anything. It's all like this one explanation. Anything they don't know, God did it. Anything they're unaware of, well, it must be God's domain. It's kind of just this blanket catch-all that they can use, but we're not doing that. What we're doing is observing and go, okay, can we come up with a model to explain why that's happening? That's science, baby.
That's right. That's what we try to do. And also, one of the big differences, and I point this out often, but every video is somebody's first video, and it's worth repeating, where Kent, as we mentioned earlier, starts with his conclusion. He begins with his answer, whereas we start with the assumption that we're wrong. We propose an idea, we have a hypothesis, we build a model, but we assume it is wrong. And at some point, a better version will come along and replace it, something that's less wrong. This is how we do the thing, and how we stay humble enough to keep learning new things that work better.
Less wrong and incredibly useful.
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't even concern itself with biology. This is cosmology. This is an entirely different subject.
Right. This is cosmic evolution. The first stage they have to have for their theory is where did matter come from?
Well, I mean, sure, you also have to have a universe to create a pie, but that doesn't mean that pies and cosmology.
It's so weird that the same phrase is happening years apart. Although you said cake just now, but details, it's the same thing. It's both a Carl Sagan reference.
Baking pies and cosmology are somehow related now.
Well, no, the origin of matter to make the pie, I would give glory to God for that. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So you said you don't know, and nobody knows where your space-time or matter came from. I don't think even know space-time is, okay? If it's a vacuum.
No, we don't. I conceded that already. We don't have a quantum theory of gravity.
But you do know things can be woven through it, and it can expand, and it can curve, and light always goes the same speed through it.
We've measured all of that. Yep, we've measured all of that precisely. Yes, we have.
So they have measured light going through different mediums, less dense or more dense, and it changes speed, doesn't it?
Yes, because the photons are interacting generally with the electron shells of the atoms which make up that material. If you don't have atoms in the vacuum of space-time because it's a vacuum, you don't have those interactions, and light free streams at sea. Yes.
So the things that are made of atoms, like galaxies.
If it does pass through matter, like he's saying, it slows down and therefore should take more time to reach you, meaning that you get what I'm saying? That doesn't solve your problem there, Kent. It makes it worse. Because Kent always gives explanations to stuff that makes his position worse. It's actually hilarious.
But there's an explanation, because we always have an answer. We can't ever say, I don't know. If you're going to hold up the magic book and say it has all the answers, you then are obligated to pretend you have all the answers.
The interesting thing that I find is how Kent is trying to make the notion of space-time sound absurd with the way that he's wording. Oh, you think there's a space-time and that's expanding and that can be curved and that matter is woven through it and light always travels out to say. It's like an attempt to make the concept sound absurd, but it's like, no, well, all that's been measured precisely.
I don't know. It's such a weird thing to me. Like the way humans try to understand the cosmos, because we're made of matter, so we have this matter-centric view, even though matter is like 6% of the cosmos. From a more, let's say not ethnocentric, for lack of a better term, speciocentric, materiocentric, whatever. Trying to get away from that. Matter is anomalies in the cosmos. The rest of the cosmos doesn't care what matter is doing,
Can be getting further away by the nothing between them expanding. They're not getting further away. What now?
I don't know what you mean by nothing.
Space-time.
Well, space-time and nothing aren't synonymous. I mean, if by nothing you just mean space-time, sure, I can run with that. I just take space-time both physically and philosophically to be something entirely different.
Well, that's why I'd like a jar of it for my science center here. What color is space-time?
What does that even mean? That's like
what?
What color is a quantum field? I don't. What the hell?
It just shows
what color is God.
He doesn't understand what the concept of color is.
Yeah. Because color is a wavelength of light. So if you've just got space-time with no light, it does like color. What? Ah, boy, Ken.
Yeah. How heavy is freedom?
Asking me what's north of the North Pole. It's an incoherent question.
Well,
color is a property of electromagnetic radiation reflecting off of something at a particular wavelength.
Yep.
Electromagnetic radiation does not reflect off of space-time with a particular wavelength, Kent. It doesn't have a color. It's an incoherent question.
I'm trying to get it straight now.
Yep.
Nothing reflects off of space-time.
Actually, we kind of almost get, so okay, I'll skip to the punchline on this one. Time space could be characterized as the frequency of the energy moving through it, that the wavelength of the space is the baseline of the energy moving through it, and the baseline of the energy moving through the vast majority of the cosmos is the cosmic microwave background radiation, which happens to be at something like 3.4 Kelvin, which gives us a very specific wavelength, which is way outside our ability to see in color, but like that's its color. That's the wavelength from a certain point of view. Just says The Way to Freedom, new documentary by Ember. Oh no. So I random tangent. A while back, I used to do a lot of film production as well as photography, which is valid since I mentioned the photography earlier in this video. One show that I did recording for was called The Color of Forgiveness. And I'm like, that's an unusual title, but it was a really touching story. It was TLDR. It was the modern story of one member of a set of twins who was trans and the other twin was not. And it kept echoing back. The struggles the trans twin was experiencing kept echoing back to another character's struggles with a gay relative 20 years before who died of AIDS. Like it was
that actually sounds like a very interesting story.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it was heart-wrenching, but it was really freaking cool. And it was called The Color of Forgiveness. And I'm like, what color is for? They actually answer it in the thing. The author has since changed the name. It's now called Ordinary Angels, and you may be able to find it. It ran in Chicago for a little while.
Okay.
I'm not sure how different the script became, but it was quite the thing.
It can be curved. It can be put in a jar, and stuff goes through it.
Well, you don't put it in a jar. The jar exists in space-time. So, like, yeah, that's like there's space-time in my hand right now because my hand exists in space-time.
So now my whole science center has to be made out of space-time. Okay.
It's not made out of; it exists within.
It exists in. I would agree.
It's made out of mass energy, which exists within space-time.
Well, I would agree. We all exist in space. I would agree. We all exist in time. I don't think you need to put the two together.
Well, they are put together. That's called a Minkowski space. Yes.
I think maybe God answered that.
Special and general relativity.
Well, could it be that God answered that in 10 words in the first verse? In the beginning, there's time.
I want to cry.
In the beginning, I always do these reviews and I always say what I honestly think. I think you really should be pressing him on, like, more, requiring him to demonstrate that his God is real kind of thing. Because he's asking you a ton of questions and I don't see him presenting anything that shows why his God is real. Or, in the beginning, that's time. God created the heavens, which is space. I mean, what a ridiculous concept. Like,
so the reason why I'm not pressing him about God is just because this isn't a debate on God's existence. So I didn't want to go down those rabbit holes. I didn't want to. My focus was on cosmology.
Yeah, that's fair. Kent is made of fucking red herrings and rabbit trails, and it's probably best to avoid those.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I would personally be pointing out that we're giving you all of these scientific experiments, and all you have is a book says something, like, and you're just basically taking it as true, but you haven't done anything to show it. No person has done anything to show it. It's just you saying it's true, and that's it.
But have you considered, Mark? Look at the trees?
I have considered Look at the Tree. And I also considered A Book Says a Thing. I considered both of them very, very strenuously and found that it was not good epistemology to just say that a book says a thing or look at the trees.
Oh, you just want to sin.
Absolutely.
In fairness, as a friend of mine from high school, who also was a minister, incidentally, wisely put it, if you don't sin, then Jesus died for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think pointing out that, hey, we've done experiments that absolutely show that space and time are intrinsically linked. Like you can't just separate them. This whole idea that, space is separate from time. Okay, well, maybe you can explain why we put atomic clocks in orbit and towards a mass like the Earth, and they run at different speeds. There is time dilation. Like, why does mass affect time?
And time also affects mass.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So why is that, Kent? And the faster you travel through space, the more time slows, like why are they linked? Because God works in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm.
Very mysterious. It truly is. I mean, I've been trying to think of like an analogy, and I can't find something that's more simple than space-time. Like one that my brain threw up was metabolism. It's like saying glucose and oxygen. All right, I admit glucose exists, I admit oxygen exists, but saying you need both for metabolism is just why we don't have to go that far. But it's not, that's more complicated than this. It's just rawr.
How to rule an asteroid. Do you play RuneScape?
Jess might play RuneScape, dude.
Callisto is the name of a boss in RuneScape, so.
Oh, well, Callisto is also a goddess and a moon of Jupiter and a bunch of other things, probably. Jester sends a super chat for $2. Thank you, Jester. And says, the trees sacrificed to get God gone? Questions. Behold, the trees have rid us of that troublesome menace. That's it. Look at the trees. Yes. And the irony, maybe it was a revenge, because remember that first century fucker was a carpenter. The trees were like, this bitch is going down.
Yeah, maybe the trees died to save save us from our sins. Do you ever think about that? Maybe the trees were the Jesus all along.
I love it.
God created the heaven.
It's all about
there's
the
space,
Jesus that
and
we
the earth,
are
there's
along
matter.
the way.
I mean, you can incorporate that into.
That's right. It's all.
Jesus
it's all
was the prince. Yeah. Maybe God sent his bonsai down to save our souls. You ever think about that?
Do as you do to the least of my little trees, so you do unto me, sort of thing.
Perhaps. It was a misprint. I knew it was a mistake.
Or I mean, wouldn't be the first mistranslation.
Look,
or
I got to say though, trees have done way more for me than Jesus has. I'll just put that out there right now.
For sure. Every time I eat a fruit, a banana, an apple, a pear, a peach, an apricot, a cherry.
Yeah, I was more thinking the breathing thing. I like breathing. It's quite agreeable with me.
That too. Yeah.
Your personal beliefs, yeah, but in terms of putting that into the science, I don't know how you're going to do that, because we can't empirically confirm it. Sure, if you want to believe that space-time is created by God, look, dude, I don't have any problems with that, but that doesn't really answer any of the questions that we're posing here in this debate, which is the merits of modern cosmology versus the merits of what the Bible says. And it seems to me that there is literally no empirical evidence supporting what the Bible says, and all of it supports modern cosmology.
Okay, well, science, the word science means knowledge from the word
I know what it means. Scientia from Latin, meaning to know.
From Latin.
To seek.
What do we know?
Yes.
Right.
What do we know?
No. That is an etymological fallacy. It's basically saying because this is what the word used to mean, it is the same now. And science comes from scientia, which is Latin, but that doesn't mean it's what we're referring to when we say science. He is just trying to conflate the old use of the word with the current use of the word. And sort of go, science is just what we know. No, that's not what science means. That isn't modern science at all, in any way.
You damn Westerners in your English.
Oh, boy.
It's true.
You said scientia?
Yeah.
But it'd be scientia.
Scientia, all right.
The C didn't start making an S sound until I think it was the Proto-Italian language or something
well,
like that.
I'm just sort of saying what Hovind said because he said it like that as well.
Like I'm being pedantic kind of just to fuck with you.
I know. But I have this really good example, which is like vagina means sheath in Latin. It doesn't mean that's what it is. That's just where the word came from, right? Like that isn't, this is the etymological fallacy. And Kent does it all the time. In fact, I caught him going to a definition of science from two places that were interesting. One was a dictionary from like 1920 something, like a dictionary that was almost 100 years old, and the other he was going to a children's encyclopedia for like, why not just get a modern definition, because he wants it to mean something else.
Children's encyclopedia.
We do love. Yes, yes, Andrew. I also generally stand pedantry, especially when it's amusing. Jess says Ember's Saturday evening hat is goals. I mean, I wear this hat a lot. It's my favorite one. I actually did try other hats tonight, but none. It's so cute with this sweater. So I'm like,
That does look good. Very good.
Yeah, Andrew knows. Yeah. I tried. I'm like, I wear this hat a lot. I do a video log every single day, so that future me knows what was going on any given day. Plus, it gives me like a video frame of like at least my face with day-to-day changes and stuff, various stuff like that. And so I can see I've worn this hat every day for the past 8 days, and I'm like, damn it, Ember, you need to wear some of your other hats. But like, this is the perfect hat for this sweater.
You're allowed to have a favorite hat. That's fine. Don't let anybody.
I just don't want
tell
my
you.
other hats to get lonely.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. You do you.
By observation, by testing, by experimentation. We know by observation, experimentation, and testing quite a few things. I love science. I'm surrounded by science books. I taught science for 15 years. The Big Bang Theory is not part of science.
What do you mean by that?
There's no, you test it. Do it again.
We already have.
It
predicted the cosmology.
Do it again, like we did it the first time.
Oh yeah. Well, why don't you Big Bang right here in front of me? Come on, do it. You won't. You're scared.
Yeah. Give me some lube.
You know
I'm right there. I'm right there.
And if you need to make a Big Bang in front of Kent,
code Brentley at checkout.
AdamandEve.com.
Say something else, but then the spirit came upon me. And if the spirit needs to come upon you, oh damn it, Ember! Why am I like this?
Don't stop being like this.
No, don't stop.
Microwave background, we've observed that. It predicted that space-time should be expanding. We've observed that. It predicted an abundance of hydrogen and alongside a couple of other light elements in the universe. We've observed that. Isn't that how science works, Kent? You say, look, this is my idea of how this works. If my idea is correct, all of these things that my idea says are true, we should see. Well, look, all of the things that my idea says we should see, we do see. Therefore, my idea must be at least accurate, right? You would agree with that?
Well, my idea is God said he made everything. He made the earth first.
Can you agree
That's
with
not answering the question. That's not answering the question. That's not answering the question, Ken.
Oh, Lord. My God.
And he's going desperately through his slides trying to find something. It's like, dude.
We're back on parallax here. Like,
Yep.
what are we fucking doing? You can tell how desperate Kent gets in a debate by how fast the slides change.
Fast the slides are going. Yeah.
Steve, which one is it?
Steve, could you give me slide 346? No, the one on the tail, Steve.
All right, let me see here. Control S. 1460, 67. No. 1523. Oh, shit. I can't find it.
Go ahead, Ken. And then we'll.
But we got questions from the audience too. My theory says God made the earth first, then he made the stars and stretched them out into place. So I predict we should see a red shift. Wow, we do. Therefore, my theory is true. Let's all teach the Bible.
Well, what would falsify your theory?
There you
What
go.
could we observe that would show that you're wrong?
If the stars do not give a red shift.
But then that would also show that the Big Bang isn't wrong. So are you just equating God and the Big Bang?
No, you're trying to put the Big Bang on the same level as God. You're
This is the thing. This was late 2021, so that this is not Leo now. had Leo now been in that, I would have been like, Kent, do you understand what the concept of underdetermination is?
Mm-hmm.
And just watch him. You can't get pine trees from it.
Plus, I might add that nearly all of the Christian scientists were on the steady state side. That we should see it basically in a equilibrium kind of thing. Like they weren't on the side of unrestrained expansion. That's not the side that they came down on.
Oh yeah, even Einstein did not like expansion. That's why he fucked with this thing. He was like, no. Clearly, a perfect God would create a universe that lasts forever. It would be an eternal universe. This expanding business means it's flawed and imperfect and still growing, and that would undermine our understanding. It wasn't until later that somebody, George Lemaitre specifically, who was a Belgian priest, I believe, he did the math and he's like, no, this definitely had a finite beginning. And then the Pope's like, oh, Genesis, and Lemaitre's like, no, bad Pope, down boy.
Yeah, a lot of Christian philosophers didn't really like the Big Bang either, and that was until about 1970. Do you know what happened in 1970?
Yeah, they found some nifty. Well, what was it? They thought it was bird poop, and then eventually analyzed it and figured out what it actually was.
Was that in 1970?
I thought it was
66. But I just wanted to say 69.
What did happen in 1970 is there was this guy from the Midwestern United States who was getting a PhD. It was either in theology or in philosophy. He ended up getting a PhD in both and has a PhD in both. But his dissertation for that PhD was extending work done on an argument for the existence of God that was originally within the Islamic tradition. Do you know what this man's name was?
You're not talking
Kent Hovind, I'll tell you that right now.
Yes, William Lane Craig, when he published the Kalam cosmological argument. And then Christian philosophers started to change their minds.
So it's not even the CMB showing that the expanding universe of general relativity is definitely what's going on here. It was fucking Craig. All right. I don't
Craig.
But I have a small commercial. It's been growing this past week. It's doubled in size. It's now 1:20. But it's a compilation of theists saying silly things, and it includes Dr. Craig. So bear with me just a moment.
It was actually a tremendous blessing to these children for them to be killed and go to heaven and be with God.
Carl, that kills people.
I have a problem with this stuff being normalized across the spectrum, and specifically, like, why push this on kids? Why introduce this to kids?
I want to be ignorant, honestly.
If God is not good, then guess what? We are all absolutely screwed.
You're incapable of being a good person. You're an evil person. You're a terrible person. At the core fabric of who you are. That's why we need laws. We need laws because we're bad people. All of us are bad people.
I am a depraved wretch. I am a great sinner. I'm a worm, completely undeserving of any love or any grace. I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
I will use whatever gives me victory. I don't care about the truth, and I don't care about the law. I care about one thing, the control.
Stop letting people pressure you into thinking.
Being a Christian doesn't exclude us from experiencing spiritual dryness.
I have questions. What is spiritual dryness?
Subscribing can prevent.
It must be what Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy is, or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh
spiritually dry.
I should send Cam a thank you card for that clip.
I sent certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass pussy. Make that pullout game week. Listening to that motherfucker.
What is a wet ass pussy? I don't understand.
My wife's a doctor. Her pussy never gets wet. My fucking God.
The first thing I thought was, man, I believe you. Like, just watching you, I actually believe you, my guy. Woof. Woof.
Wowzers. So Craig, it's Craig's fault. Like so many other things, it's fucking Craig's fault.
Good old Billy
Craig. What I'm sort of saying, it's very easy for creationists to rail against Big Bang Theory, then come in afterwards and go, well, we predicted it because we can interpret our Bible in a certain way. Like, this is what, like Leo's talking about an underdetermination. Like, you could pull almost anything from that Bible and say, hey, it predicts any of these scientific facts, but you're not actually predicting them. What you're doing is taking a text and you're conforming it to what other people have done the hard work discovering. That's what you've done. It's ridiculous.
Plus the whole Texas sharpshooter thing, you know, like the way Ray Comfort will be like, oh, well, here where it says he hangs the oath on nothing, we know the oath is hanging in space on gravity, but never mind that. But he'll completely ignore the verses around it where it talks about the 70 sons of God getting jiggy with the human women and things, you know, it's because it's out of Job.
There's some crazy shit in the Bible.
Like, fuck it, it's so frustrating.
Pretty
It's like
wild.
the things the Bible actually does definitely predict, it gets wrong every fucking time.
Your space-time,
I don't understand.
Your nothing
what that means.
expanded, and so time, energy, and matter and space had to have a beginning. You don't have that. Therefore, you have a religion. Why can't you see you have a religion?
That statement is a little off topic. We're not really talking about how did the universe originate. We're talking about the merits, again, of modern cosmology versus biblical cosmology. There are things I could say that would show us that what we think we know in modern cosmology is flat out wrong. Probably not. What could we show that would tell us that what the Bible said was wrong? And if it's all of the same things that would show that the Big Bang is wrong, then I fail to see how we could differentiate between modern science and God at that point. You're just calling modern science God.
Well, no. If man could predict,
I really like that. Because whether you intended to or not, it's kind of like taking Kent's normal technique of saying, oh, well, I confess what I believe is a religion, but yours is a religion too. You're just not honest enough to say so. It's taking that same thing and turning it around back on him and saying, well, if you're just going to call science God, then what's the point?
Yeah. And like his usual thing of, oh, you're expecting me to pay to teach evolution in schools kind of thing. It's like, no. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
If you do think it's God, then good. We're teaching everyone about God. Now go home, Kent. It's past your bedtime.
produce life. If life could produce itself, that would prove something, because the Bible says he created living things. God did. Something outside of time, space, matter created time, space, matter. The guy who made this watch is not in the watch, changing the numbers on the screen. He's outside of the watch. Okay? So the God who created this universe is he's not limited by my limitations. I'm limited by time, space, and matter, and so are you. We cannot be more than one place at a time. We cannot be more than one time at a time. I can't be here now.
Well, that's
what?
First of all, that's not entirely true. Second, that's kind of incoherent. But third, like, as I so often have to ask in these sorts of situations, if his idea of God exists completely outside of time and space, first of all, how the fuck does Kent know anything about this being at all? And second, how does it do anything if it doesn't have time or space with which to do things with? Magic. Lots and lots of magic. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotta appeal to
Like,
the
it's not even a
all-powerful
moment.
immortal wizards.
Yeah. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard.
Well, they
And
define
tomorrow
it
and yesterday
into
all at the same time.
existence.
I gotta go one
so
day
they
at a time.
define
So
it.
I'm limited.
They define it as being able to do anything. Therefore, it can do anything. That's the key. You just define it like that.
He brings his own
Okay.
time with him.
Yeah.
That's how you create time. Is he wasn't creating time. He already possesses the natural property of time, and he was imbuing that function into the universe.
I just want everybody to know that if you can't create your own time, store-bought's fine. It'll work.
Well, I think it's good to press him on that he's not actually answering the question, because your question was, what would falsify this deity? Because we can falsify things about the Big Bang. We haven't yet. If we do, that would be great because it gets us closer to what is true. But what falsifies your God? And what he's avoiding saying is it can't be falsified. he knows that as soon as he says it can't be falsified, sort of Popper went into this, then you can't be certain that it exists.
Who went into this?
Karl Popper.
Karl Popper?
Oh my god. Wow. I thought you said Papa, like Dad. I thought, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, my daddy went into falsifiability. Just saying. Infallibility.
You can't falsify my Papa.
I heard Papa, and I'm just like, what? Who's Papa? Who are
Maybe you do that
calling
Papa Hovind as opposed to Hovind the Lesser. Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh shit! I was laughing at the fact that that's what I heard. Like, how the fuck?
It's the Australian accent. I don't say Popper. I say Popper because it's Popper, mate.
Hell yeah!
Ooh, fuck!
Well, like, if any of us
make
ever
myself
does
laugh.
debate Kent again, we should refer to him as Papa Hovind.
Papa
Just
Hovind.
to constantly
Yeah,
remind
that
him.
sounds wrong. That sounds really wrong. I'm not comfortable with
Well,
that.
I mean, you know how he feels about rainbow flag
Do
people?
I look like
call
a
him
real
Daddy
boy,
Hovind.
Papa?
It would really make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, okay, well, I think to make him real, if that's your goal, take a rainbow flag and call him Daddy Hovind. Okay, that would make him uncomfortable.
Whatever you say, Big Daddy.
Oh, Kent, are you going to drown me like a little child?
No, that is rough. Ooh.
Slam me harder than your first life, baby.
Spank me like you spank Eric.
Oh no! After the dentist.
After the dentist. Ugh. Dang.
All
All
right.
right. This stream is going so far downhill.
Back to the phone.
I'm traveling through what we think is time, whatever that is, and I'm traveling through space. But I'm still not sure what exactly the space-time is. Why put them together? Just call it space or time. I don't think you need to connect them, but you're welcome. Well, you have a religious belief. You said at the beginning you don't know where it came from. You said it again later, and you'll say it again now. You don't know where space, energy, and matter came from. Okay, then
don't
stop
know either.
calling it science.
Well, because again, what I'm defending here tonight is not concerned with where it all came from. It's concerned with what evidence do we have that what is being said by modern cosmology is true, because that's the subject of this debate.
Okay, let me
modern
jump in.
cosmology versus biblical. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. Fantastic discussion. Since we are going on an hour and 15 minutes, the discussion portion, I have 2 minutes left on the clock. What I want to do, gentlemen, Kent, take 1 minute to sum up your thoughts just on the discussion. Leo, you do the same thing. And then we're going to jump into some closing statements and then an audience Q&A. Go ahead, Kent, take a minute. Leo gets a minute. Then we're going to jump into closing statements.
I think.
So he wants a closing statement before the closing statements?
No,
I think I interpreted this as like to kind of give us first start with like where you think you're at in the discussion and then do like a final closing statement. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And it's I mean, it's
Hold
fine.
on. Don't
Just
play the
like-
video. Somebody, anybody out there that has the technology and the skill to do it, capture me right there. I like that. That looks so fucking cool. That is like the perfect place to pause it. Somebody needs to capture that photo, and whether or not you remove the background, I can do that myself. And then you need to email it to me. My email can be found on my channel, which you should also definitely not subscribe to.
And
that would be a great thumbnail picture.
Leo would also like a dick pic included in that. Just saying.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't actually know how to take screenshots on this computer. I could probably figure it out, but there's people that are better at it than me.
Oh,
and that
you want to know?
perfect.
Like
what system are you on?
Screenshot button.
Windows.
Windows. It's just Windows key Shift and S, I believe.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, whatever works.
Okay,
But yeah,
so
it's
this
super
brought-
easy, fairly
okay.
inconvenient. Or if you want to come back later, we're currently at 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 38 seconds of broadcasting time.
Ha ha! Mark, you fucking ball genius.
Uh-huh.
Mark
That is
can
called-
always find the button.
Yeah, that is called the snip tool. Enjoy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mark always knows how to find the button. Kent, not so much.
I don't think Kent knows what buttons are.
No. That's why you need Steve to do the slides and things.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
God created the heaven and the earth, and he ought to get the glory for it. And he made the stars. I can look at the stars and say, wow. I think we should also look at all this and say, what does this have to do with eternity? We all have a limited lifespan, 60, 70, 80, 90 years, whatever it is, and it's over. You're dead. Then what? Leo, then what? Just go back to dust?
This is preaching.
You sure? Anyway, hope you're content with that. Go ahead.
Yeah,
this
my,
is just
my
that's
philosophy of
just
mind
preaching.
is not at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lee. I got to interrupt. That's just preaching, man. Lee, you didn't sum up your position. You didn't sum up the errors in your opponent's position. All you did was preach and say, think about what happens after you die. That is not epistemology for anything.
Nope.
Saying, hey, what happens if you die? Okay, that's a good question, but how is it relevant?
Well, he's invoking argument from consequence. Don't you want to believe? Because if you believe, then it
kind
will
of
be true. And don't you want to have an afterlife?
Yeah, kind of, and also sort of a appeal to emotion. Like, it'll feel good if you get to go to the afterlife or whatever. So believe it. It's kind of this. Wouldn't you? Yeah, you're not wrong. He's definitely sort of appealing, but it's just so blatantly. Like, this is bad. I think you really rattled him, Leo, because he usually doesn't do that kind of preaching, like he usually at least will say, hey, it's dumb because of this or because of that. He won't go, oh, well, think about what happens when you die, because it's so weak, like it is absolute weak sauce.
Yeah, I forgot this is back when
I tend to agree.
LPP, good old Lil PP was still doing his little his whatever the fuck you want to call it.
He was an angry boy.
Yeah, he was just always just guy, man, just calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Simmer down now.
And then everything was a computer code as well with him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, well, of course, we're in a simulation. It must be, right?
Well, when all you've got is a hammer, everything's a nail, right? Like, that's so,
one of my favorites. Yeah. I actually, I need to bother Jim Burrows at some point, because I've said to, I've caught him on other shows, and I've said to him from the chat that I really, really appreciate his argument about whether it's solipsism related. The universe is a simulation. How could you possibly tell if you're just if you're within the simulation, you wouldn't be able to detect the simulation. He has an argument against that. I'm not going to go down that tangent right now, but I do appreciate it, and I want to have a chat with him.
You said that was Jim Burrows?
Yeah.
Jim Burrows, yeah. Well, I think my argument against that is kind of, if we're in a simulation, you wouldn't make a simulation where there is any possibility that the people in it are aware that they're in a simulation.
What I would, if somebody presented simulation theory to me, I would just be like, yeah, okay, why should I think that? First off, define what you mean by simulation, and then show me the evidence or give me the argumentation that shows that the universe is that. Because I don't think it's very well defined. And usually what happens is, oh, well, we know that reality is pixelated. No, it's not. Oh, but there's elementary part. Those aren't pixels. No, that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. Sorry. Try again. Do not Pesco. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, and I've heard people use the argument like Minecraft keeps expanding as it loads more as you go out, that the same is happening with the universe. Like, no, but it doesn't actually
renders.
Renders, right. It doesn't actually expand everything in between as well. You do know that, right? Like, God damn. Suddenly you get back to your base and it's twice as big, like, what?
Oh my goodness!
Sorry, that's a joke for you gamers out there.
Oh, yeah. I want to know about the utility. Like, it does seem to be just an updated version of the Cartesian demon. You can't tell if a demon's playing a trick on you. Like, but what's the utility? Like, so what? Like, am I supposed to figure out a way to break free? Then what?
I will say, there is an interesting sort of thing in philosophy. It's called the experience machine. Have you guys heard of this before?
I think so.
The experience machine.
Yes. If there were a machine that you could enter and you would live exactly the life that you wanted to, starting from wherever you wanted, and it would be like sort of like your ideal reality. Would you enter the machine? But once you enter the machine, you cannot leave. Do you enter the experience machine?
You have to live
No.
out the entire experience.
Yeah, if you go into the experience machine, you cannot leave the experience machine. Do you enter the experience machine? My answer is no, I do not.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would.
I'd have to know more. I don't know. I mean, if the alternative is your present existence is so miserable you're on the verge of self-deletion, maybe that might be a viable alternative.
Yeah, something like that. And then to turn it around, suppose somebody came to you and said that your entire life and everything that you know and everything that you are thus far has been lived in the experience machine. You can come out of the experience machine, but if you do, you cannot go back in. Do you leave the experience machine? And my answer again is no.
I would say you are crazy, because there's no way I would choose my life as the one to, be everything that I wanted. There's no way. If I had a choice to have all my experience, no. It's impossible. Nobody
so you would not
that,
leave the experience machine?
Oh, I would, yes.
I
would.
Well, no, if somebody came to you and said, your entire life up to this point has been lived in the experience machine, you can leave the experience machine and experience what actual reality is. But if you do, which is going to be different from what you've been experiencing in the experience machine, but if you do leave it, you cannot go back in. You're saying you would leave? Oh, yes. I would not. Absolutely, I would not.
That part sounds like Plato's cave to me. Like somebody points out, you're in a cave, there's a real world. Do you want to go see the real world? Fuck yes, I want to go see the real world. Even if it means I'll never see the inside of the cave the same way, It's
just the Matrix dilemma. It's just the Matrix blue pill, red pill dilemma. That's all it is, really. I mean, they probably took it from, philosophy, but it is that, would you rather a comforting lie or an inconvenient truth? And I think I'd rather the truth.
Yeah, I would straight up tell them, nope, I'm staying in the experience machine. I don't know anything about that world, and I don't care.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's a choice that everybody makes. But I would see it as, if there's something real out there, I want to know what it is.
Yeah, I'd be very, very curious. And also your current circumstances have a lot to do with it. I've often thought at many points in my life, if aliens made themselves known, popped down to Earth and said, hey, humans, we're very friendly. We would like to take some of you to our planet to learn about our people, and we will learn about your ways from you, and it'll be wonderful. It'll be a grand adventure. But
is probing involved?
Possibly, but only consensually.
Okay.
But the catch is, because of the nature of the space travel, you can only survive one way. So you can come to our planet, but you can never come back. And every time that thought enters my head, yeah, I'm going with the aliens. I want to see their planet. And honestly,
we all know humans suck, thank you, Ember. Humans suck. I get you. It's just okay. Well, I think it's more a personal choice, and I don't
There's
blame
no right
anybody.
or wrong answer. It's just to kind of gauge
how
people think about those
thought
things.
exercise, sure. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back.
Okie dokie.
Sure.
While Leo's away, we'll get Leo's pre-closing minute, I guess.
Relevant to this discussion. I do think, though, I have to say, I think that some of the questions that Kent asks are certainly interesting questions. But look, scientists don't know everything. Yeah, we know that space-time is there. It can be curved under the stress of mass energy. Einstein's field equations describe that perfectly. The fact that we don't know exactly what it is, or if it's emergent, or if it's fundamental, doesn't mean that we can't know things about it. Kent's right. I don't know, nor does he or anybody else in the chat. SFT doesn't know. We might all have beliefs, but we do not know where time, space, and matter came from. Nobody does. However, the model that I'm defending here tonight doesn't make any statements about that, nor was that the particular subject of the discussion. It seems to me that, I just with all due respect, I don't think Kent really has a model here. I think he just has some problems or issues with the model that's been presented. if he does have any further questions, I would certainly encourage him to speak to any professionals in the field. I am not one, and that is why, if anybody remembers from my opening statements, I did cite from reputed professionals and some of the most reputed institutions relevant to the subject on the face of the planet. But I think I've done a sufficient job in showing that modern cosmology, contemporary cosmology, is certainly backed up by all of the empirical observations that we've made, as well as the mathematical equations that we can write.
Okay, thank you, Leo. I appreciate that. Those final thoughts in terms of the discussion, Kent, Leo.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good. Close.
No, that's a great close. Absolutely. Because, he's just saying, hey, this is the stuff we figured out. This is the reasons why we know it. And I've cited all of my work, but Kent has done nothing to present anything, which is true. I still think you may disagree. I think I would have pressured him more on how do you know that the Bible is, because he keeps going to the Bible, sort of how you know it's true is a really good, because eventually people like Kent will just get into a circular argument. It's true because the Bible's true. And I love those times they just sit in a circular argument of like, but it's true. How do you know?
Is that what you think?
Oh, no, the cat knows it can take your spot. That's the thing.
It is written.
How dare you rob the cat?
Oh, she'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. We know who the true rulers of this planet are.
Mm-hmm. Don't bite my hand.
I sometimes say that plants invented animals to be their air filters because there was too much oxygen and they needed more CO2 and whatnot, so they invented animals. Similarly, we know humans are domesticated. And we often say that, like, we never domesticated cats. They just kind of moved in and started living with us. What if the cats domesticated us? They took, like, these are promising tool-using primates. If we breed them properly for a few generations, we might get something useful out of them.
Well, domestication is more like a symbiosis. Like, we don't domesticate things that we have no use for or don't benefit in some way. So cats, we bred them for their hunting ability. Don't forget, they are the things that caught mice and other vermin for us. Like, it's just, they have use. It's not like they're just using our stuff for nothing. And you probably should teach your cat to hunt mice. It's a good idea.
Well, I mean, you don't really have to teach them to do it.
Well, no. Well, you can encourage that behavior.
Yeah.
Like some cats don't sort of take to it that well, but, use the toys and stuff. That's why those toys are there, because they love to pounce on stuff.
Mm-hmm. Training and things. Did you know that in the UK, Downing Street has an official mouser? Like, there's a government designated cat in charge of being the mouser of Downing Street. And this cat has outlived 4 prime ministers and a monarch.
Larry the cat. I think he died recently, actually.
Possibly.
I think.
I don't know. I'm remembering a meme I came across. It may not even be true because it's a fucking meme, but it's hilarious. I'm like, what did the Queen do to piss
Larry,
off?
born January 2007, is a British domestic tabby cat who has served as chief mouser to the Cabinet Office at 10 Downing Street since 2011. He is cared for by Downing Street staff and is not the personal property of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Larry has lived at 10 Downing Street during the premierships of 6 prime ministers: David Cameron, Theresa May, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss. I can't see her name and not laugh. Rishi Sunak.
They've had a lot of
Keir
PMs
Starmer.
recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is the first cat to be officially given the title of Chief Mouser, according to the Downing Street government website.
Yeah,
so he's still alive.
Fair enough.
He is the most senior government official in the UK.
Age 18.
That's awesome. I like that there's just a cat that's been in there. Just
leave it to humans.
That has an official position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
and
like
it's
it.
not
That's
the
awesome.
property. It's like he's not owned by any government official. He is a government official.
The government official, right? Didn't like a king try to make their horse a member of the council or something? Didn't that happen?
These fucking English people. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where that was. Yeah, it was Caligula, apparently.
Oh, fabulous. I mean, in fairness, Catherine the Great tried to make her horse an official royal. Never mind.
Escort.
Oh, wow. All right, let's...
Concubine.
Groomsman.
Oh my.
With a strong emphasis on the groom.
Animal husbandry.
just okay. I think we've covered that. Sure.
Oh my. I don't know. I keep going back to, as you know, I do a morning show. If you're new here, if you missed this first part of the show, I do a morning show weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we cover a whole bunch of random stuff. And one of the random things that we covered semi recently was a government I want to say Albania appointed an AI being, for lack of a better term. It's not a being because it doesn't actually exist, nor is it self-aware, but they appointed an AI to an official government position. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh yeah. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Just like that fucking Tilly Norwood, that AI actress. Like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, just stop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wild. Such as, you know, life in the near middle 21st century. Okay, technically we're a quarter of the way, but we're past the quarter mark, so we're into the middle ish. Aunt Jer points out there are some towns that have cat mayors. I have heard this. There's a one in Alaska that I can't remember the name of, but it's come up more than once. There may well be others. I think we should consider having a cat for president because, honestly,
Absolutely,
the way we're doing with humans, not great. I mean, we could do worse than, you know, a mouse on every dish or something.
Yeah, I mean, as I've said before, I'd like for president, I would take a monkey with one bollock at this point, quite frankly. Like, oof.
Oh yeah. And it's getting interesting. I mean, y'all around the world, y'all hear about the big dramatic stuff, the way we're storming our own cities and deporting citizens because we don't do due process anymore and all this sort of stuff. And also the tariffs
and
are crazy.
Killing fishermen in international waters, you know, that was a bit disturbing.
Yeah. But because of that, as well as other policies, it's having a convergent effect, creating emergent properties. Basically, not only are we completely fucked for our harvest time this year, but it's looking like that many of our agricultural industries, whether it's the big corporate farms or the little independent farmers, they won't be able to plant for next year. There won't even be stuff to not harvest. And that'll be a bit of a problem when, you know, over 300 million people have nothing to eat. I'm sure.
You know, I think at that point, other countries, you know, America, for all of its current mistakes and things that it's doing, nobody, like, you know, we're not going to let, like, America has come through with aid for all kinds of countries, you know, Germany after World War II, Japan after World War II. Like, there's no way we're going to not send stuff if we can. There's no way. But, you know, why you would follow someone that's put you in that position in the first place is madness. Just madness.
Well, it's because they don't. Honestly, I think, yeah, a lot of farmers are upset that their pocketbooks are hurting, but if it means that we can get rid of the Browns, then it's worth it. That's
well,
pretty much
there's part of that. There's a lot of people who are completely disconnected. They don't realize that all these things are interrelated. But also there's the people who are, you know, too busy having a grand old time with their hidden swastikas and Hitler jokes and all that fun shit. They don't realize there's consequences for this bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's a tangent and a half. We could probably talk a lot about that for the next hours or so. But yeah,
it's true. We're doing the thing, and we were having much more fun doing the thing than talking about this thing. So let's go back to that.
Yeah.
Epic discussion, epic debate so far. We've got roughly 340 people in the chat. People are loving it. So what we're going to do, yeah, great job to the both of you. What we're going to do, Leo, if you want to take, well, for closing statements, we've got up to 5 minutes. If you want to take whatever you need there to for closing statement, then Kent's going to get a 5-minute closing statement. Then we'll get to a few of these questions. So Leo, whenever you're ready,
I don't get that. You just had closing statements.
Right.
Like you just had closing statements, and then it's like, I'll have another one with Kent ending. Maybe Kent was objecting that he didn't end it. Who started this off? Who did the first thing? It was Kent, right?
Me.
Yeah, Kent did the first.
Was it you?
Well,
no, I mean the introductions. Was it you, Leo?
My opening statement was first.
Then you should end it. They should bookend it, but
No, I don't like that. The same person should not get both the first and the last word in a debate.
Well, that's generally how they're done. So because
a formal debate is not done that way. If somebody gives the opening statement, then the next person goes, and then if there's rebuttals, person A, then person B for the first rebuttal, person A, person B for the second, and then person A and person B for the closing. So that the same person isn't getting both the first and the last word in the debate, because that just sounds unfair. That your opening gets to go first, but you also get the last word too.
Well, I think it's because the opening, the last opening is the one that sticks with somebody more, and the last clothing is the one that sticks with people more.
Yeah, which is precisely why I prefer to have the last word than the first word in a debate. I prefer not to go first in debates. That's why if I get to choose or have an opinion on the debate thesis, I try to frame it in a way that puts my opponent on the affirmative so that they go first in the opening statements. They go before me, but I get the last word in the debate.
Okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different ways it can be done. I've been in some situations where it was the person with the burden, the positive position. They got to go first because they were presenting their positive case, but they also got
that's the affirmative,
yeah, exactly. So it can be structured in a few different ways. I mean, there's a technical way it's done, but it can be done any number of ways. More fun that way, I guess. Keeps things interesting, perhaps.
In my opening statements, I outlined 4 pieces of evidence, the predictions rather, that are made by a hot Big Bang model that we have observed. The first one that I outlined,
hot young universes near you,
was Einstein's general theory of relativity, which again, and you can go talk to PhDs if you doubt me on this, is one of the single most confirmed, well-substantiated physical theories, physical descriptions humans have ever invented. It gives us, when describing a universe that looks exactly like ours, a universe that is expanding. The galactic redshift that Hubble observed also shows that a universe is expanding. We can take those equations, we can take some of the functions in them, we can inverse those functions. Hopefully people understand what that is. Khan Academy is a great resource for math if you don't. And what we get is essentially it's like flipping the clock and you start running it backward, and we can extrapolate backward and we can get back to about 13.8 billion years. I also outlined the cosmic microwave background, which is the direct leftover radiation from the Big Bang. It is by all rights effective proof that the universe originated in a very, very hot, very, very dense state. And then I outlined the abundance of hydrogen in the early universe. There are no mechanisms that could have created such an abundance of those light elements, but primordial nucleosynthesis, which is the process that would have released the cosmic microwave background as electromagnetic radiation decoupled from matter. That matter that would have formed those stable neutral atoms would have been mostly hydrogen with a small amount of helium, and the electromagnetic radiation that was released would have traveled through space-time unimpeded, and we can detect that radiation today, and that is the cosmic microwave background. So the fact that those two corroborate each other so strongly is very, very powerful corroborative empirical evidence that the universe originated in a very hot and very dense state. Now, there were some problems initially with that model, but they have been thoroughly solved by inflation. And again, I outlined 4 empirical confirmations of predictions made by inflation. I'm not going to go over those here for the sake of brevity, but anybody that's interested can examine the sources that I had listed in my opening statements. The Stanford or the Stephen Hawking Center for Theoretical Cosmology is a good one. Stanford University also does have some really good literature on this, as well as MIT and Harvard University. So anybody that doubts me, because I'm not a professional, even though I cited them, I just encourage you to head to your nearest university and sit down with a cosmologist and ask them the questions and see what they say.
All right, I appreciate that closing statement, Leo.
Hell yeah, that's a really, really solid
Yeah,
summary
really strong.
of things. And I also appreciate the call outs to like the other sources and be like, I can't go into the whole thing here, but here's where you can find out more. It's really there's citations and footnotes in your closing statement, and that's pretty fucking cool.
I can't help but feel if some of the people in Donnie's audience goes to ask cosmologist questions, they're going to hate you forever, Leo. Like, seriously. Because they're not going there to ask them about their expertise. They're going there to convince them there's a God, and that's a problem.
Let me ask you, Mr. Atheist, who invented mathematics?
And I would love it if the cosmologist looks at someone and goes, wait, I'm not an atheist.
Yeah. I'm a devout Catholic.
Yeah, what do you
dude,
mean?
It's Tuesday. I was just at Mass last Saturday. What are you talking about? Took communion and everything. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean, Master Atheist?
It's fucking great. Oh my! I mean, there's I think the beautiful thing about it is that it lights up other neurons, like as you were going from point to point to point, like, you know, the cosmic microwave background radiation, which is one of my favorite fucking things. When the Kobe satellite went up, I was like, yay, data. I'm such a fucking nerd, I know, but like, it's such a cool fucking thing, right? Like, not just the story of how it was discovered. That's great, you know, lore and whatnot, but like the fact it's an omnidirectional signal. And a lot of people don't realize how significant that is. Every single source we have ever discovered comes from a point. All of them, whether it's light from our sun or light from Alpha Centauri or radio waves from 3C273, whatever the fuck it is, it comes from a point. The cosmic microwave background radiation is omnidirectional. It is the only signal that is everywhere. And that's all. It's mind-blowing. And it was predicted. Like, even if we didn't have values for what wavelength we might find it at, what temperature it might describe, or how the power spectrum shows a clear redshifting effect, just the fact we predicted an omnidirectional signal is mind-blowing, because we had no reason to think there would ever be any such a thing except for extrapolating from general relativity. And then we found the fucking thing. I get very excited over the cosmic microwave background.
Everybody
A couple
did.
minutes to spare, so let me restart the timer. Kent,
Nobel Prizes even.
You now have 5 minutes for your final thoughts and closing statement. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, sir. And thank you for coming, Leo, tonight. I appreciate that. Scientific evidence against the Big Bang. There's all kinds of it, been published many places. You can go to LPP Fusion if you'd like to read more on that. That's saying that it didn't happen.
Is that,
You mentioned
hang
the
on.
abundance of
Is that Maddox?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was just about to say, because that's the
And I did go there, and it's junk. You can go to LPP Fusion. Meanwhile, I'm citing the Stephen Hawking Center for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge.
Oh, they're the ones trying to build the biblical fusion drive or some shit?
Oh,
are
God. They? Yeah, apparently so.
Oh, shit. Well, I guess good luck to you. I mean, you're definitely gonna fucking need it.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. We touched on it briefly a few years ago, but it's a deep rabbit hole to even just get fully up to speed on. So we'll just pass that one by for today.
By the way,
Mark, did somebody do an after show for this debate? I can't remember.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't think so. I don't think I would have been in it, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe I did. I've got no idea, mate. I got to be honest with you.
I saw Donnie flip up something about an after show, but the way he pops comments on
it, that was LPP's. John Maddox.
Yeah, it was LPP's. Yeah.
Hydrogen is the lightest of all the gases, and on the periodic table, number 1. If the Big Bang were true, they say it would produce some hydrogen, maybe some helium, and maybe a little bit of lithium. Well, there are 92 elements, and you cannot fuse past iron. So how do you get the heavier element?
Well, you can.
That's false.
Like,
you can't in the core of a star, but
yeah, you can't do stellar nucleosynthesis, but you can't even do stellar nucleosynthesis until you have stars, which is not. It's such a thing with creationists. They think because they assumed that whether it was God or science or whatever, the universe came out like it is right now. And that's not it. Like it was millions of years before the first stars started even forming. Fuck.
They do it with everything. They do it with cells. Like they assume that sort of proto cells at the start were exactly the same as cells right now. And it's like, no, stop doing this.
You know what's one of my favorite questions to ask creationists? Well, I think God created life. I always go, okay, sure. Let's talk about that. What would it have looked like if we could go back and watch God make life standing on the surface of the earth? What would we see? Would it just be a barren wasteland and then poof, there's giraffes walking around now on lush plains with beautiful clear ponds? Did it slowly fade in over time? Like, what would it have looked like? And I can't get an answer for obvious reasons, but the whole point of that being to sort of create this conceptual train of thought that gets people to think that this is clearly a ridiculous claim to make about how things come about.
Yeah, it's magic. But we don't do the magic anymore, though. The magic is all done now.
That's from with your model. With your jar of space-time, I would like my jar of space-time in my science center that we're going to make. We're going to pump everything out of it. I would like it to produce some gold. Yeah, and silver and platinum and uranium. Yeah, let's go.
Uranium? Never mind. Just never mind.
I would not trust Kent with uranium.
No.
I would not trust that man with uranium.
I mean, I don't see the problem. He wouldn't know what the fuck to do with it.
I was just thinking he'd freaking get him some plutonium and he'd demon core himself before he even figured out what the fuck he was doing.
He'd probably mistake it for peanut butter and spread it on his toast.
Oh my.
Probably.
Tasty radioactivity.
Plutosium.
It's got an extra something.
A model.
It really zings on the tongue, you know what I mean?
That's how they make the self-heating meals. Oh, maybe he already has uranium. That's how he self-cooks in every debate.
It's like, my toast is burnt.
Where the Big Bang produces all the elements. Even in your model, theoretical model, you might get some hydrogen. How do you get past iron? There is no good model for that. So you can read up all about the problems with the Big Bang theory on the LPP Fusion website if you'd like. There's plenty of stuff, observations that say, look, it's not happening. It didn't happen. So God said he stretched out the heavens. I just have to take that by faith. I believe that's fine. And I think the trusting what God said, I believe if God created us, it's logical and rational that he would give us a book to tell us what the rules are and how he wants us.
Why? Why wouldn't it just be written on our hearts? Like, what do we need the book for aside from, to mistranslate and misinterpret and misunderstand? And like, why use a book? I mean, the fucker's omnipresent and has a gazillion angels. Why can't either he or his representatives be sitting literally on our shoulder at all times, whispering in our ear? The Lord wants you to do this, Why? Why does he need a book?
Why not just make it instinctive behavior?
To behave and what he doesn't want us to do, like thou shalt not. If we all came from a Big Bang, where do morals come from? Where does right and wrong come from?
What the hell does this have to do with the debate? Like, seriously. If the Big Bang happened, where do morals come from? You didn't cover this is Kent Hovind. Like, just bring up stuff in the closing arguments that you never touched on, you didn't discuss, has nothing to do with the debate, and then he goes, well, I won because he couldn't answer my thing at the end about morals. Like, what are you doing? You complete tool.
My favorite thing, though, is if this story were true, where the fuck do morals come from? Because it sure as hell isn't in here.
Yeah.
Yikes on bikes. Somebody's going to marry his daughter.
Society decide that? Is it just the majority opinion? The biggest guy with the biggest club or the biggest gun or the biggest bully, he gets to make the rules, right and wrong? Where do morals...
That's
like
what
God?
You believe, Ken.
Yeah.
That's literally what you're preaching.
Mm-hmm. because God will smite
He's
you if
talking
you don't
about
Is that
follow
in
his
this
morality
jar
rules.
of
while he's
space?
got a slide up that's evidence against dark matter. The scene here is
That's
one
true.
of these things is not like the other.
Even a
Right,
5-year-old could
right.
tell.
Everyone knows that, sin is dark matter. Exactly what it is. Everyone knows that, Leo. What are you talking about?
That's why it's so heavy.
The expansion of the
Right.
universe is being powered by unclean thoughts.
There are a lot of them.
Yep.
That's expanding and curved and has stuff woven through it. But I just don't think you understand. If everybody believed like you believe, Leo, it would be chaos in society. Like, where's the rules? Where's the right and wrong?
Society.
Is it
Argument
wrong
from
to
the
murder?
True. No wonder we get the rules.
Appeal to consequence. This is the one that Ember pointed out before. Whether or not society would be chaos, whether or not we would have morals, any of this stuff has nothing to do with whether the Big Bang happened or not. It's basically saying, well, I wouldn't like it if this was true. It's got nothing to do with what you like. It's got nothing to do with the consequences. It's like saying, well, if gravity, is true, then it means every time you fall off a cliff, you'll fall to your death. Yes. That is true. Whether or not you like the consequences has nothing to do with not the actual thing is true.
Well, you just can't have gas pressure in a container of time-space. Don't mind me. I'll see my way out.
Somebody? Well, the lion thinks it's perfectly fine to kill the baby zebra and drag it home for its kids to eat. I don't think the zebra likes it. I don't think the baby zebra likes it. Is there a standard for humans? Where's the standard? Where's the right and wrong? Where's the thus saith the Lord? In your model, society would deteriorate to chaos with everybody doing that which is right in his own eyes, like we see twice in the book of Joshua or Judges.
Like we actually do.
Should I talk to Donnie and get a debate set up with Kent Hovind on morality?
I don't think he will debate that.
You don't think he would?
No,
you really don't.
because
I think he would. Maybe not with me, but
No, I don't think he would with anybody, because if you want to talk about morality, you can bring up, do you think it's moral to pay your taxes?
Do you think it's moral to not abuse your wife?
Right. Do you think it's moral to, run
let little boys drown on your property?
Exactly. Or, let somebody who abuses children in with children to stay over at said park. That's why he won't do it, because those are the questions he doesn't want to answer. So, but I mean, like, none of this has got anything to do with the debate. Like, nothing to do with the debate, and it's it's so evident. Like, it's so obvious. Like, he is just grasping at stuff to sound like he's some kind of expert in the matter. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and plus, just because people don't believe in God and they believe in do you know that there are secular or very atheistic nations out there? Like, they haven't collapsed. They're still going fine.
But you know what happened to the US when we decided to go like super Christian? Off a fucking cliff. Amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's what happens when you fire all of your experts on, things like labor and CDC on disease, and start to hire Christian fundamentalists.
Loyalty over competence. Yay, fascism. I'm so tired, folks.
So I worry that your theory of Big Bang without a creator is going to...
Did you know Big Bang is entirely your fault now, Leo?
Oh, man. I knew I should have held
For that Einstein guy. You did this.
How dare you?
Every time something falls and it pisses me off, I blame Einstein. I'm like, you stupid fuck. You fucking slimy shithead. Yeah, you know what, Newton? You too, buddy. Don't sit back over there and chuckle, you little fucking virgin motherfucker, you.
flinging apples and whatnot. Oh shit, we lost Mark.
Oh no. Mark!
My goodness. Hopefully he'll be back. Okay, yep, and there he is. Bloop. Marker's restored.
Yeah, I just refreshed. Everything was a bit laggy, so I just refreshed.
Sorry. I see. Well, now you're remarkable.
Mm-hmm. I sure am.
Hell yeah.
Be very destructive, and already has been very destructive to society in general. It is this idea that we don't need a God to explain everything. That's the foundation for communism, socialism, Nazism, the New World Order. I cover that.
What?
Nazism, which worked closely with the church. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, none of those are the. Never mind. Just never mind.
My video number 5.
He literally. Oh, there it is. DVD number 5.
Oh, my DVDs! Yay!
Oh goodness. But like, he's literally just pulling out everything that has nothing to do with this debate.
Yep.
I would encourage you to watch it. That's the one they locked me up in prison for. DVD number 5, about the dangers of this evolution theory.
To be clear, he was locked up in prison for tax scamming. Structuring was the official charge. Nothing to do with his stupid fucking DVDs.
Well, there was multiple charges. It was structuring, failing to pay tax for his employees, and also obstruction of justice due to the ridiculous amount of evasion he did towards the people that, you know, were government officials trying to execute the law.
So much stuff.
Evolution is too slippery. There are 6 different levels or stages or meanings to evolution. Cosmic evolution, we've been talking about tonight. We haven't given an answer. Then you'd have to get chemical evolution. How on earth do you get all the different chemicals from hydrogen? Then you have to have stellar evolution.
It's not even what chemical evolution means, you twit.
No. And it's so, like, it's ironic that he's going, oh, evolution's so slippery, and then bringing up unrelated topics in his closing that have nothing to do with the debate that they couldn't possibly have covered because, you know, they hadn't come up because they're not part of the freaking debate. Like, this is peak, like, you know, sliminess, quite frankly.
Yeah, it'd be like if Leo in his closing had started bringing up how the fuck did Jesus enter Jerusalem twice, like once on a donkey and once on a horse, so he can fulfill 2 different prophecies at the same time. Like, it has nothing to do with the topic tonight. What do you mean? Fuck.
Did you ever consider that Jesus was riding the donkey and the donkey was riding the horse? Did you ever think about that?
See,
Yeah.
you could make a good apologist, Mark, because you know, we talk a lot of shit about apologists here, and it's all deserved, but like, that was a top shelf apologist level explanation. I dig that.
Oh yeah.
So you guys have heard of turducken, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So would this be a jadoncourse? Or how?
Absolutely.
What would this? Jesus donkey horse. Jadoncourse.
Okay, but that suggests one is stuffed into another. So that's
maybe that's how they did it. Maybe that's how they did it. Did you ever think the horse was a Trojan horse? Maybe.
Look, we're doing apologetics. We're doing apologetics.
We're just making it up as we go. That's what that's slop apologetics, buddy. That's what it is.
And we're doing it better than the fucking apologists do. We all deserve honorary doctors of whatever the fuck Kent has. Holy shit. It's too bad Jess had to return to her asteroid, because I would love a drawing of a Jerdonkers.
Jadoncourse, yep.
Yes. In fact, if anybody out there feels so inclined, you can send fan art to the Discord. The Discord is open once again. The link to it is on my website, betterthanember.com, where you can find links to a whole bunch of other stuff, including trans and intersex science, links to all the other creators I know about who aren't evil, and a bunch of other stuff. But link to the Discord is there so that the evil people are less inclined to join. Because if it's in the description, the evil people can just click on it. The evil people won't ever go to my website. They will never do it. So it's safer that way. And if you join, then you can drop drawings of your dawn course in the Discord. It would be fun. I would laugh a lot.
The stars have to evolve from this gas that's created. You think hydrogen can be condensed and make a star? There's not enough gravitational attraction. Where did gravity come from, for that matter? But where did gravitational attraction between hydrogen gas?
There's not enough gravitational attraction.
Where did gravity come from? Okay. Where did
gravity come from?
I want a jar of gravity right next to my jar of time space. Right next to my
What
jar
color
of
is gravity?
Green. Everybody knows if gravity had a color, it would be green. If electromagnetism had a color, it would be blue. And quantum chromodynamics does have colors: red, blue, and green. And green, what is it? Oh, fuck, I hope I don't get this wrong.
But you said if gravity
Green
had a color,
anti-blue,
it would be green.
Blue anti-red, red anti-green, or is it red anti-blue, blue anti-green, green anti-red?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm going to have to look this up. Because what is it? Gluons, I believe, carry both color and anti-color.
Oh, sort of like the up and downs of quarks, except it's colors in this case. The flavored.
Yeah, so the charge
flavored.
The charge for chromodynamics is color. Or we differentiate between the three charges of chromodynamics by using three different colors.
Okay.
Yes, right here. Additionally, gluons are subject to the color charge phenomena. Quarks carry three types of color charge. Antiquarks carry three types of anticolor. Gluons carry both color and anticolor. Hold on. Okay, so yeah. You can have... Okay, yep. Okay, there we go. That's making a lot more science.
We're doing some extra science now. Aren't y'all glad you stuck around?
There will be a quiz at the end of this, so you guys better be prepared.
Oh my! That's fascinating. How they've got the two different color wheels in opposition.
Mm-hmm.
How the anti-green is literally magenta.
Yep.
I love it. Oh, that's fucking cool, actually.
Nature
that is
does
really cool.
gorgeous work.
Yeah.
That's why I don't need a god for nature to be beautiful. She's just beautiful.
Hell yeah. I mean, this shit is way cooler than any fucking god could think of.
I'm sorry, God has nothing on chromodynamics. Just nothing.
How dare you? This is a Christian channel.
I mean, it very much is not, but I get what you're going with there.
It's going to condense to a solid and light up and be a star? Where's the evidence for that? That's not science. That's a religious belief. Then you have to have organic evolution, the origin of life. Somehow, somewhere, life has to get started. No, they can't.
It's so funny to me that he's
Everything's
bitching about stellar ignition when stellar nucleosynthesis is the only nucleosynthesis that was figured out by a person who actually was like not only atheist but doing the research for theist reasons. Fred Hoyle.
Yeah, but they're not real Christians, because Kent Hovind thinks if you believe in evolution or Big Bang or whatever, you're not a real Christian kind of thing. Don't forget, he's a fundamentalist.
Was definitely not a real Christian. He was Hindu.
Okay. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. Even if it was a Christian to discover it, he still wouldn't, Kent Hovind's he just thinks that this is the right Christian way and won't hear anything different, mostly because his livelihood depends on it.
Why didn't God give us more uranium? We just don't deserve it.
Even do it in the laboratory. And if they do make life in the laboratory, all that would prove is it takes intelligence to make life. which I've been saying all along. You said so many things tonight, Leo. I'd love.
He's just so back and forward. He's like, you can't do it because it takes God magic. But if you did do it, then it just proves that I'm still right.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody like without being engaged with or challenged move the goalposts on his own. You know what I mean? Like, because they've never created in a lab. And even if they did create, he's just moving the goalposts preemptively kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like the amount that it reminds me of Trump is incredible when he was like, you know, even if we lose, we've won kind of thing. It's like, wow. Wow.
Up is down, black is white. It just... No shame, no intellectual humility, no even a pretense of honesty. It's all bullshit, all the way down.
You've just described Kent Hovind's entire life.
That's true. At least so far as I'm able to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Which is more than I would like, alas.
To discuss with you in great detail that the universe might be eternal. You said it's not a closed system. Well, by definition, the universe has to be a closed system. Our planet might be receiving energy from the sun, and it is, so we can overcome the second law on the short term, but the whole system is losing energy. The sun's losing energy to send it to us and the other planets.
Silly Kent, Mr. Science teacher. Neither matter nor energy can be created nor destroyed. We're not losing energy. We're losing the ability to do certain kinds of work. The energy is degrading, but we're not losing energy.
Kind of just being dispersed.
Yeah. It's spreading things out. It's getting all excited. You know, there's a non-zero possibility that we may have the causal situation of the redshift reversed. It could be that instead of the light being stretched as it moves through space due to the metric expansion, that the light is degrading as it moves through space, and for lack of a better term, the energy that it's leaching out into space is what's driving the metric expansion. It could be going the other way. We don't know. You can tell I'm tired because completely novel, random shit that we can't even begin to investigate is popping into my head.
Well, at least we admit when we don't know something instead of, you know, I know about as much as anybody on this subject.
Yeah. I am the most educated in the world. I'm
and then
top of my,
demonstrates he knows literally nothing about this subject.
Yeah.
Way to go, Ken.
Amazing.
Let's see. You claim the speed of light is a constant, but yet we've shown clearly it can be speeded up or slowed down, and we don't know what space-time is 500,000 miles
No, not
from
speeded
here.
up.
Maybe it's thicker or
No.
thinner.
No, you said it can be slowed down. I love how he smuggles that in last minute. We've showed it can be sped up or slowed down. No, through this entire thing, he's talked about slowing it down. He's never said sped up until now. You
He's
dodgy,
if you can
dodgy
do the one,
little
you can do the other. But that's not been demonstrated.
Dodgy little clown.
Yeah.
Dodgy Kent.
I mean, by the same token, the second law of thermodynamics doesn't need to apply, because we only ever observe energy being degraded doesn't mean it can't be like re-energized somehow by some undemonstrated mechanism. Like, that's not how anything works, Kent. No, you can't. You cannot. You can make fresh energy. You can use the old energy to help make the fresh energy, but no.
There. And you said, we know that everything was very hot, very dense. I'd like you to do some calculations. What is the total mass of all of the stars? And you want to squeeze that into a dot. What is the total temperature of all the stars? You want to get that in that same dot. I think that's hard.
That's not how it should go without saying by this point, but that's not how anything works.
Hard to believe. I think an average thinking person would say, that's dumb. All right, and I think it's dumb, but that's okay. You can believe it. But I resent having it taught at my expense to all the kids in school. Okay, thank you so much for having us. Go ahead.
I appreciate that.
That's just an argument from incredulity. Just to I find that very hard. That's not an argument against it. It's just saying that you find it incredulous.
I personally don't like it. I don't understand it, and I think it's silly for all you big brain, egghead, wrinkly gray-mattered people to think that it makes sense. How dare you? How dare you teach the children? I don't know why Kent is British now. I'm making him sound more educated than he actually is.
Kent Hovind.
I mean, why not Sir? You know, he bought himself a doctorate.
Earl of Brickleshire. I'm sorry. I
the Earl of Lennoxton.
Oh,
Alabamaton.
Why? Just why? Oh goodness. All right.
Oh,
So
look, if you're gonna be making up crap, just go hog wild. Just do Prince Hovind the Greater. You know, like seriously. Look, out of the three of us, I am the only one qualified to get a knighthood. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't have one, but I am the only one qualified to get one. Thank you. Thank you.
That's true. Do they knight people from the Commonwealth? I mean, I realize that
Oh,
the
absolutely,
monarch
yeah.
is also your monarch, but like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
very cool. At a Renaissance fair, I was knighted by Elizabeth I once.
Nice.
Yeah.
The best Elizabeth, the original Elizabeth. I don't know.
That was before I found out about what she did to Ireland. Now she's not my favorite ruler. I was very small at the time. Oh goodness. Now that makes me think of another. So it tangents upon tangents upon tangents. There was an Irish woman who opposed Elizabeth's conquest, and there's a whole fucking story about this lady, but they called her the Pirate Queen of Ireland, and I'm like, there needs to be a musical about this.
Pirate Queen of Ireland.
Yeah. She confronted Elizabeth face to face, and she didn't even speak English. Like, all she spoke was Irish.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But on the actual subject of today's thing, needless to say, I was not terribly persuaded by Kent's arguments. Leo, your stuff was good as per usual. I mean, I got unreasonably excited about some of the science, which is always a good sign. And yes, it's true, I get excited easily, but science definitely does the trick. So yes, that was delightful. Kent was a silly boy. And said a lot of dumb things.
I think he dealt with him really well. Like, he's just did it. I mean, it was Kent Hovind's greatest hits, let's face it. It was just the straw manning, you know, trying to make the entire thing seem ridiculous by using terrible analogies. You know, the glass jar thing was so stupid. I don't know who would be convinced by that, but you handled it really well, you know, by just saying, hey, yes, you could have a jar on your desk, sure. You know, it doesn't make it not true, but yeah, I thought you had some really good arguments. I loved your conclusion, your closing. That was really good, tying everything up, and that you iterated on what you presented in the introduction was very good. So it refreshes that to what you actually presented. I think I could tell that Hovind, he was really I mean, he was reaching for scripture. He was preaching. He was at the end bringing up stuff that had nothing to do with the debate. Yeah, he was absolutely cooked, in my opinion, because he could not even stick to the subject. He had to do his like bait and switch kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talked about it as we went along, but I really like the way you kept like ignoring his rabbit trails and shit, and we're like, believe whatever you want. This is what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good shit.
Yeah, and you weren't afraid to say, hey, we don't know this, we don't know that, but, you know, here's what we do know. And I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was I remember looking forward to that debate. My God.
Oh, yeah. Whacker Hovind, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Has he ever whacked you?
I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. You said whack a Hovind, and I'm going to be honest. At first, I didn't think there was going to be a Vind on the end of that.
Okay, well, that's on your own time, buddy. That's on your own time.
I heard the whack-a-ho part and I didn't know what was coming next. I didn't know if that was it.
You know, it's almost Christmas. Ho ho ho.
Look,
Yeah, we're talking about Santa Claus.
Don't be mean to hoes. Come on now. Let's be nice. Let's be nice.
Well, you need them to water your lawn.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
it's true. It's
Mm-hmm.
Rochester's pitching bumper stickers in the chat over here. Science makes me moist.
Moist.
I'm not commenting. Nope.
You know what makes me moist? Water.
Fair. It's very helpful for that purpose. All right. Any closing thoughts, Leo, and also any plans for things upcoming, future debates or what have you?
I did have a debate with this guy on Taco's channel. Once I find an editing platform that I can just do some basic stuff on, and I can edit it up a little bit, then I will be posting that to my channel. It was actually a really good discussion. I enjoyed it.
If you need something free, I recommend Shotcut. It's not too complex, but it can do a fair amount of stuff. I kind of like that.
Shortcut?
Shotcut.
Shotcut. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't been active on his own channel anyway in a while, but the last video that he and I did together, he used that, and it does some pretty cool shit.
Who's he in this instance?
Mr. Anderson. He.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a lawyer person who I guess got really, really busy with IRL stuff. Apparently, he's been around the community. He just hasn't been like making new videos.
Oh, that's understandable. He's got a very serious job as well. So we get it. We get it.
Yeah, it's been known to happen. But that was a fun collaboration. And hopefully he'll be back someday. But I do digress, as I am wont to do. What's up with you, Mark? What you doing soon?
Oh, I'll be up to my usual antics. I will be aimbotting. I will be doing my fundamentalist fails on Friday, which last episode was absolutely fantastic. I did the all hassle Hovind week, which was hilarious because I managed to hassle Hovind the Lesser and his right-wing bullshit that he's currently on. So somebody pointed him towards pre-sup and Christian nationalism, and he's going whole hog on it, which is horrifying. Yeah, I think that I'm probably going to have to investigate this whole Seven Mountains thing. I really want to do something on that because that is even more horrifying, and is linked to one of our ex-prime ministers, which is shockingly horrifying.
Yes, those fuckers are everywhere. It's almost like a real conspiracy theory, except they're open about it.
Right. We threw his ass out, quite frankly. We tossed his ass. Like he got absolutely smoked. So that was good. But I didn't even know about this, so I really got to look into it. But apart from that, just cruising on.
All right, cool beans. And
but we'll be back on my channel next week to do another debate review.
Yes, fresh debate. Mwahaha. No idea what we're doing yet.
What are you guys reviewing?
No idea.
Oh.
It'll be a
You're
surprise.
asking me? I'm just hosting it.
Yeah. It'll be a fun time. So make sure you're subscribed at Mark's, but also, of course, make sure you're subscribed here. So we got a bunch of stuff coming up. Tomorrow, I'm doing spooky scripture, because it's spooky season. It should be fun. Ryan Cultastic sent me a link to a book from the Internet Archive that I don't even know. I haven't delved into the thing. We're going to find out what horrors are in it together. It'll be neat. And then, of course, Monday through Friday, weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, we're doing Hot Topic. Probably Monday morning before that, I'll be on the Damn channel doing Java and Jugs with the other girls. We'll see how that goes. We usually do. We just don't have it nailed down yet, as per usual. It's always a surprise that way too. But I have my show for next week all planned out. It'll be a great time. I hope you join us for that. And of course, next Saturday, back over at Mark's for fresh debates. I think that I mean, I do a bunch of other stuff too. All my links on betterthanember.com, ways to support. Also, thanks to everybody who sent super chats. I very much appreciate those. Those are how I pay for food these days. So I very much appreciate those. Miranda sent $10. Thank you so much. Saying Strawman plushie, new merch. Jester sent $5 saying, I can prove that there is a fabric of, I assume, ass time. Behold, the fabric is created every time an intelligent person has to deal with Kent Hovind. And therefore the theory is fulfilled because that tracks. And thank you, Jester. And Jester also sent $2 saying, the trees sacrificed to get God gone. Questions. Praise trees. Praise trees. And thank you all so much for being here. As I often say, but it remains true, interacting with you folks in the live chat with your thoughts, you're filling in the blanks, answering questions and the jokes. It's just the best. That's why we do lives, is because I love seeing you here. It literally makes life better. You make life objectively better. Good job, folks. I appreciate you. And as always, remember, you don't have to take your debate about the origin of the cosmos and make it about where does morality come from or who invented mathematics or any of this crazy bullshit. You can just talk about cosmology, which is amazing and deserves your full attention because you are better than religion. Good night. Thanks to all our patrons and top-level members for September. Miranda, Karen Butcher, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Robin Webster, Maya Adkison, Jimmy Tux, Ian Chen, Malaysia, The Barely Bearable Atheist, Eric Wander, Jason Jacoby, Godless Engineer, Jester, Lil of All Trades, Deviant Outcast, and Kelly King, the Detroit Atheist Queen. And you can add your name here next month by signing up at patreon.com/betterthanember or by joining Emberships here on YouTube at the Cinder level, which also includes all the custom emojis, tons of member-exclusive content, member-only live streams, and a bunch of other stuff. I deeply appreciate all the supporters who keep this channel going. Thank you all so much. Because of you, we're building a wonderful community that I'm very proud of.
Just like a spark that's breaking